Alrighty, welcome back to the Cryptic Kabal Monster Monday Season 2 in the first stage, Session 23. It's been a minute since we had our last session. We do apologize, but scheduling conflicts do pop up. Excuse me, I just downed a cup of coffee right before this, so you might hear me belching a bit in the background from the air intaking of the air. But last time we left off with this party, we had spent our time introducing the new characters with Dudes running into Vicarette and... what was it? And Little D, that's right. Little D, as well as the two bards, having ran into them in the tavern back in the little miners' settlement that had been built up alongside the river of the Toth territories in the south. As you lot would slowly come together in the tavern one by one, Dudes introducing the party to not only their new ship captain, but also their new bodyguard of Wara. The party managed to also meet the nefarious, illustrious, largest hands, Crump Jr., who seems to be working underneath the great Azuris currently. With the party, though, having managed to convince some of the trolls in town, mostly through the use of Crump, to join on and crew the ship, the party found themselves in a little bit of a sticky situation that, with the supposed murder and sudden appearance of Crump, the town seemed to believe that the crew on board, as well as Crump himself specifically, had committed murder around the town, blaming them and showing up with nothing but pitchforks and torches. Though, thanks to some interceding between Dutes and the crowd, as well as Azuris keeping them calm and collected, the party would manage to convince, I believe, Sen, the leader at the time, or the highest ranked individual of the troops, who basically got put into the job of leadership at the time, to call off the horde and return back to their day to day. As the party would realize that they would not find themselves welcome for much longer in town, they decided to head out, going out to the sea to spend some time traveling to the city of Knighton in Regan Utham's territory. For those watching and keeping track of the dates, when the party will arrive, which will be here after we get through some of the year stuff, the day will be the month of the Bloodied, which is May the 15th, and it'll be the year 65,008. With only 8 years to go until the big war comes upon us. We return to the parties having been out to sea for quite a while. If I remember correctly, Azuris, you had decided you did not want to try and contact or bother the first two war galleys that you ran into in the first 2 months.
Yeah, no, we're not dealing with those war galleons.
Okay.
Not yet, at least.
However, in your third month at sea, as your party has been spending their time learning the ship, practicing, going about their day to day, there's not much lot to do besides just making sure to keep the ship moving. As many of you find things to kind of keep yourselves busy, crafting, cards, reading, whatever it may be. As you spend your downtime relaxing, as many of you have decided, which I'd have to dig through our PMs to remember who is doing what. It's been a little while. I think for the most part, we had the majority of the party learning about practicing sailing, and crafting. So, generally. But you've all put your month actions in, or your year actions in, as we come upon the third month. It is... the oceans are colder. The water has been giving off almost a frost every morning. And as you find yourselves with a cloudy sky overhead, no storm picking up, but the waters becoming slightly choppier, you see a single long sloop with what looks to be a large black flag with a beheaded troll depicted as a flag. You do see amongst them their ranks looks to be koboldkin, most of them looking to look almost like Chinese-style dragons, coming from the descendancy of. As of, I believe, last time we rolled, Azuris, your squid I'm trying to remember the name of Calypso. Um, Calypso managed to notice another large object beneath the ship following it, about 30 or 50 feet, I think it was 50 feet away, and underneath the water, completely submerged. As you lot come upon it, you're at this point about roughly 60 feet from the other ship as they seem to slow. Not You notice that their ship seems to glow for a moment as the what you recognize Azurus to be a captain only in the fact that he seems to stand the tallest amongst the lot. As he does so, one second, let me pull up something for myself here. As I gotta refresh my memory on exactly which one this is because these dragons. Okay. Alright, you see a very skinny and tall kobold with a large, brimming black leather hat. What looks to be some sort of wrapped cigar-like object kind of sticking out of his mouth that's glowing blue with embers and smoking up a greenish smoke. Two little horns kind of protrude from his head, and his hair seems to be almost like a long mane down the side of the back of his head, along with a very thick chin beard, though it does not seem to go all the way around the rest of his face. The rest of his crew looks similar to him, though many of them having their scales a lot duller instead of the bright orange that he appears with. Many of them look to be wearing scimitars on their hips, very basic leathers, and seemingly to be roughly around 5 feet tall themselves compared to his 9 feet. The rest of the crew, as you count those aboard the deck, at this point is roughly 12 members seem to be going amongst this long sloop vessel that about matches your own in size.
Okay. So how far away are we from them right now?
About 60 feet from their ship.
Oh, okay. So we're definitely well within shouting distance.
Mm-hmm.
Ahoy there, sailors! How ya having your day? Fine weather, ain't it?
The largest of the koboldkin, wearing the hat, kind of steps forward. He pulls out a little wand and seems to speak into it. And you hear as his voice almost unnaturally echoes across the waters without him having to shout a bit, and goes, "Aye, the waters are rough this time of year, and with the cold coming upon us. You lot don't look like you're from these waters. Where are you coming from?"
What was that continent we were just coming from?
The continent of Olympia. Some refer to as Olympia, depending on where you're from in the continent.
Those who are native to the continent, what would they call it as?
Olympia.
Okay. I hail from Olympia. Well, that's where I got most of my crew. We're heading over to the Regan Utham's lands and seeing what we can get along the way. I've got a proposition for you if you don't mind me coming aboard to have a little conversation.
Kind of looks about his men who seem to give affirmative nods and goes, "You'll have to give me a minute to confirm with my captain, but sure, we'll see if we can accommodate you."
I'll be waiting.
You see him step down off the side of the deck and go head towards what looks to be a little cabin underneath the helm of the ship. As he disappears in for a few moments. Your trolls, I believe 20 strong, was the number of the crew, are mostly now at this point above deck watching. Many of them staying at their positions, of course, but those who were given the time to sleep and rest seem to eagerly watch from the sidelines as everything kind of goes to almost a tense quiet.
Alright, men. I intend on working with these sailors, but keep an eye on the waterline. There's something beneath it, and if they want to do anything interesting, let's make sure they don't catch us by surprise.
I'm just gonna check something real quick. Can Crop swim?
Aye, aye, Captain.
God, I hope someone I brought on my ship could fucking swim.
Actually, technically, most people of this, who were sailors chose not to learn to swim specifically, so it'd be easier to die in the water.
I know, but I believe my men will survive.
Oh no. Alright, okay, I'll keep that in mind. Alright, as you wait a few moments, kind of giving out the orders, Wara, Vicaret, and Dutz, assumedly all three of you are above deck, kind of watching this. What were you wanting to do? Or is there anything you wanted to do specifically?
No, I'm just kind of like standing by watching the shape that's under the water and the ship, the potential enemy ship,
Okay.
I should say.
Okay, give me a search check. Wara, what about you?
I go near the bow of the ship on the side that's facing the other ship.
Okay.
Just keep an eye out.
Okay.
Do I need to roll a search or a spot or anything?
Yes, give me a search check if you're keeping an eye out at the front of the ship.
Can I roll a spot check?
Sure. You'll just get a different result.
A 12.
Okay. And Vicaret, what'd you roll?
I'm working on it.
Oh, okay. No worries. I'd actually hope if I hit start on the session. There we go.
32.
Jesus. Okay. All right. And then before I get to the two of you, Dutz, is there anything you would like to do?
I am going to start where I'm going to pull out my lute, and I'm just going to start playing the first few notes to a shanty by the name of the Flying Dutchman.
Okay. Give me a perform check for instrumental.
All right. Give me. Yep. As you said, the magic words for this that fit perfectly for the shanty.
Sun's gray and cloudy and the winds from the west.
Oh no.
Yep. Come on, I need you to load.
What? Oh, wait, for your string instrument roll?
Oh, it's no, because the site crashed, showing me a 404 error, so I had to refresh, relog in, and now it's stuck on me editing my sheet.
Oh, nice.
Gotta know your. Well, you should have your modifier, and that just you add that to whatever ranks you put into the roll. Very simplistic math.
You have any physical dice, buddy?
I do. I was gonna ask if it's okay if I roll that instead.
I don't care. The only person who's required to roll on our Discord is still and for always will be Cameron, because he's the only person who's ever been caught faking rolls. So
That imperial bastard.
Yep.
Imperial bastard.
Everyone gets one with me when it comes to that.
Everyone gets one.
Yep.
I got an 18.
18. All right. As you begin to play, what are you playing?
The Flying Dutchman.
As the music, or as you start to play in the background, the sounds of your instrument beginning to almost catch with the music as the crew starts to kind of lightly sing along in the background with you. Go if you'd like to, feel free.
Give me 1 second, because it's trying to ask me to enter in my PIN for Windows security.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Well, while you do that, and as you play, Vicaret and Wara, Wara, we'll start with you. As you look out on the sky, or out onto the waters, looking amongst the ship, something seems strange about the ship. And with your recent training, what you catch amongst the crew, this ship is about as big as your own in length and width, though it is of a different design with its single sail. What catches your attention immediately about the ship, though, is that it has very few crew members, if that's all of its crew that you're seeing, counting only 12 plus the man who went inside the captain's quarters. That seems quite light for a crew that's going to be running it day and night. But otherwise, nothing else catches your attention. Vicarette, as you take a second and kind of look over at it, you also, as you know, looking about the water, you do notice that there looks to be a piece of wood that keeps poking out. As you kind of take a quick, closer look, it looks like the top of a mast, like of a ship mast. Mast, not mass.
All right.
As you start to notice
It's a boat.
Vicarette points that out to them, almost saying that as soon as you see and hear the door open from the assumed captain's quarters, as the door opens up, the figure comes back out, the kobold kind of walking over to the edge of the boat again. Azuris, Wara, Doots, do any of you respond to Vicarette's, what Vicarette said before I move on?
I didn't hear what was said. Sorry.
It's a boat. They got a boat on it.
They got another vessel underneath.
I'd kind of chuckle because that would perfectly line up with the next set of lyrics. So, sky was gray and cloudy, and the wind was from the west. When we spied a battered frigate with her tattered sail full dressed.
As Dudes keeps getting into it, laughing at I can't talk right now. Jesus.
Oh, the irony.
The irony. Thank you. Never mind. I'm gonna give up on it. Anyways, as he walks over towards it, he begins to, he pulls out the wand once again. You see as it glows a spell going off as his voice once again seems to increase in its loudness, almost unnaturally. As he goes, "All right, we'll see you and your top 3 members. That's it."
All right. All right. We'll head over in a second. Let me gather my men.
He seems to wave as they his crew start to get working and moving about.
All right. Vicarette, Wara, Doots, to me.
All right.
I'll stop singing.
Aye, aye, Captain.
All right. We're gonna head over to the vessel over here and give him a talk. Crump is actually my second in command, but I can't take all of my top officials over to this vessel.
As you look about, you also haven't seen Crump at all.
He might be underneath. He gets a little seasick when the storms come about. Also, it'll be good for these landlubbers to see interactions between other pirates. The goal here is to hopefully align ourselves with them so that we have more men to take on bigger, more profitable ships.
All right.
Lazarus,
Yeah.
are you sure you want to do this?
Why not?
This is obviously a trap.
So?
I look to Wara. I look at Vicarette. And I look back to you.
Are you saying you're incapable of pulling yourself out of a trap you know you're walking into?
Do you think do you think the 4 of us can take an entire fleet?
If you think you're gonna call 2 ships a fleet, you haven't been
Correction, then.
sailing for very long.
No, I haven't. So if you would rather me use the correct term, 2 ships that are very much definitely filled with people.
So then let us not get trapped.
So why not just
Simple as.
discuss? So why not just talk from our ship?
Because that wouldn't be very, very hospitable. Now, would it, dudes? We approached them, so they get to choose where the discussion happens. If it was the other way around, it'd be on our ship. That is how things go.
Parrots are weird.
It's the sailor's life, baby. Alright. Bring out the gangplank!
The crew immediately starts moving about, and you hear whispers about a trap as a couple of the men seem to also start snagging up little knives and such and putting them on their belts as they go about their work. The crew gets around as the other ship seems to, again, begins to slightly flash with light. You watch it glow for a moment, and the ship seems to almost begin to move from it on its to its side and comes closer to you almost unnaturally as the water pulls it towards you. When it gets within about 30 feet, the trolls kind of take out the large log from the side of of your ship and kind of set it out to kind of sit down and attach. The not nail, but it's like a heavy piece of metal at the very end of it to grapple and hook on. So you hear as it kind of taps on the wood lightly, and it seems to catch on the railing instead. As you watch the trolls move it side to side, it's not the most sturdy of bridges, but it'll work if you don't want to damage their ship.
It'll do the job.
All right.
Due to his words of a possible trap, I decide to stay on alert and be ready for any actions needed.
How big are you? What's your size category?
Medium.
Medium? Okay, never mind then. Alright, good to know. None of you are large, correct?
I am large.
Correct.
Vicaret and, okay.
I'm not large.
I think Azorus is the only one that is large in size.
Alright. Vicaret, as you are the most unassuming looking of the group, you do feel as something seems to climb onto your back. As you kind of turn your head slightly, you see a little tail of a blonde cat kind of scuffle itself into your backpack before the flap closes behind it.
I love this man. I love this man so much.
I say, Vicar, are you doing anything, or are you gonna let the little intruder just ride along, just out of curiosity?
There's nothing that I could fuck with in my backpack that would cause issues, so it's fine in there.
Okay. All right. As you kind of take a moment and
Huzzah, extra ration, because I'm a horrible bug monster.
as you kind of adjust the backpack for the weight to let things settle a little bit, moving about, I assume all four of you are heading over the ship?
Yeah.
Okay. As one after another, you kind of climb up onto the gangplank. Give me a balance check, each of you.
Having
Alright, let's see where.
26.
Nice, Wara. With ease, you managed to walk across this. Seems your time at sea has been well spent.
16.
16, that's success, yeah.
5.
Dudes, trying to make it so that way that your mustache doesn't give you away in any way. Trying to focus your minor magic to make it disappear on your face. and using that concentration check, you find yourself continuously wobbling back and forth. Every time you step onto the thing, you seem to fall back onto the ship. It's not easy before you manage to get up on all fours and just kind of like pull yourself across.
I can imagine some of the sailors on both sides see this and laugh at him.
There's no laughing. It seems that there is a lot of tension amongst the air right now.
Alright, then correction. I chuckle at him.
Fair. And then Vicarette.
Okay. I'm not too great on this, guys. I'm not good at balance despite having more legs than everyone.
Well, to be fair, I didn't even need to make the roll. I could have just flown across.
That does not help me at all.
Well, you succeeded at least. Yeah, it's wobbly, but to be fair, you've been at sea now for a few months. You've gotten used to your sea legs, and are able to walk across. Though the fact that this isn't nailed into the other side, like it normally would be to cause a bit more stability, is a little bit annoying as you go across Vicarette. But as all four of you finally get onto the other ship, you see the tall kobold kind of look at you, Azurus, and go, "All right, I take it you're the captain?"
Of the fine vessel? Why, yes.
All right, perfect. Come on in and meet with our own captain. He's in the quarters. He doesn't come out because he doesn't like the light.
Understandable. What about, my men? Are they to stay out here, or are they to come in with?
They're welcome to come in with if you'd like. If you'd rather them stay out here, I can't promise they won't find them or be of a bother to them. They are a crew after all. As he kind of looks at you and lets his eyes settle.
All right. Come along with.
The kobold, though, immediately as he turns and starts walking over to the tall door, assuming Wara, Dutz, and Vicarette follow after Azurus, as the door opens up, you see a large, heavy, almost what looks to be made of this grayish, petrified-like wood desk sitting in the center of a large open room. The chair behind it turned away and looking at what looks to be a wall with some bookshelves on it. So the shelf itself only having about 4 books across this massive, open space. As you begin to walk in, Azurus, as actually each of you begin to walk in, give me a will save.
Cause it stinks in here. No, that'd be fortitude.
21.
21? Okay.
24.
Okay. And
18.
All right. As each of you manage to succeed, as soon as the door opens, you watch as what for a moment looks to be an empty room then turns into what you count a room of what looks to be 40, maybe 50 Thrycreen surrounding this little center and just spread out enough to let you lot walk through. You can see what looks to be on the ground, obvious runes of magic. Dutz, without even a spellcraft, it doesn't take much to realize, that, same with you, Vicarette, that this was some sort of illusion magic.
Yeah.
The Thrycreen do not seem to notice that you have you don't see the illusion though, as they continue to just stand there, staying still. The kobold just holding the door, waiting for you lot to walk in.
Yep. I walk in like I should be here.
Okay.
I just look at Azurus.
Yeah, I
All right. Where's the captain? Who am I speaking to?
I think you left your party slightly speechless. All right.
Nah.
You go ahead, Vicarette.
Are any of the Thrycreen particularly larger or meaner looking than any of the others?
None that you can see. Most of them look to be almost exact replicas of each other. Though I will
Okay,
note,
cool.
each of them seem to have, as far as a unique mutation, all of them have on their right arm, looks to be instead of a hand, like a full elongated hand, it seems to be a single long blade. Some drip with liquid, but others do not. The liquid does not look to be natural, meaning it doesn't look like it comes from their body or anything like that.
Okay.
Zura's just staring, looking around the thing, trying not to make eye contact too long with any of the Thrycreen to throw off the plan.
All right. Well.
Yeah, so anyways, I'm gonna use Dominate Monster on the kobold that opened the door.
He is a person.
It doesn't matter. Dominate Monster hits everything.
Does it really?
Yep.
Okay.
I thought there was a difference between monster and humanoid, or
Yeah.
person.
Yeah, Dominate Monster hits both.
No, it's Dominate Person isn't restricted to people. I am curious how you have Dominate Monster, as it's a level 9 spell, but okay.
I got it racially.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. I gave it to you because it's a racial ability. Yes, that's right. Okay, yeah. Give me a second to pull up my thing here. To get his save. And what's the save?
It's a will save, and I think it's the DC is Charisma based, so it's 17 right now. I think. Hold on, let me double check that. It's
Well, that's a 17.
Son of a bitch.
As you kind of go and wait 1 sec. Did I use 1 moment? Nope, that is the correct one. Never mind, I'm good. Okay.
That is 17.
Yep, it's 17 is correct. Okay. As he kind of looks at you, as you kind of look, lock eyes, your eyes glow for a moment, and he just kind of seems to shake his head for a second and looks at you and goes, I'm sorry, I'm not into insects. Your kind isn't my type.
Well, men, are you coming in or not? We have a deal to make.
I'll see where this goes. I'll step in.
Okay. Dude,
I stay in the doorway.
You do
Okay.
not have to enter. I'm making that clear.
Dudes?
Looks a little stuffy in there for my taste. Unfortunately, I get claustrophobic on these types of things.
Kobold nods.
Suit yourself.
As he kind of looks at Wara and goes, I'm gonna close the door, so either you need to stand in the doorway on that side or on the outside.
No.
Wara, please.
Then I stay outside.
Thank you.
He just kind of steps out with the door and kind of closes it. Vikret, you said you were gonna go inside, correct?
Yeah, fuck it.
Okay. As you walk up next to Azurus in the center of the room, the kobold kind of closes the door and steps outside, kind of sidestepping out of Wara's way, as Wara's more of a wall for him than anything else. As he closes the door shut, the chair turns, and you see a bright white-eyed Thrycreen kind of turn in the chair. His carapace also almost bright white, to the point of flashing and kind of causing the light to reflect off of it. His other eye scarred and cut through, almost completely rendering it looking like it's useless and grayed over. The rest of his body, as you look about him, he has also a single long blade on one hand that seems to glow a little red at the very end, as you can see markings of what look to be magic runes put into it. As the Thrycreen looks at you, it kind of just turns its head to either side for a second, studying both of you, and then speaks and goes, Cesperas, the name. You can see through my illusion, can't you?
Aye.
Why would you come in here?
Because I have a deal to make.
Roll diplomacy.
You see, I feel like being a pirate, you gotta be bold sometimes. What do you guys think?
I'm nodding.
25.
25. All right. As Vigret nods to this, nods along to it, the Thrykin kind of looks at you, and Cesperas goes, "Speak."
So, me and my vessel are going to be finding our way over to King Utham's lands, hopefully by the end of our voyage. And my ship isn't the most, I'd say, equipped to take on some of the more wealthy vessels in these fine seas that we sail upon. And so I was thinking, why not gather some more ships together? Sail together, take prizes, get some money. And when we come to the end of the voyage, we wipe our hands of each other and move on, or stick together, why not? Do more things, create something new, a pirate nation, if it's in the cars, of course. But I am not one to force anyone into, well, nah, who am I kidding? I love forcing people to work with me. But, captain to captain, I prefer everything on the table. I know that you have something underneath, another vessel of some sort. That intrigued me.
Cesperas kind of looks over at Vigret and then just kind of studying them during this. Vigret, are you doing anything, or are you just kind of nodding along to the conversation?
About the only thing notable that this guy would pick up on is that I've got one hand on the door frame and I have my legs spread out a little bit more than what appears that I'm comfortable with, as if, like, I don't know, I believe I need more stability or something like that.
Going into a squatting position, basically. Getting a
And
wider
not
stance.
necessarily squatting, but like with a wide stance. You know,
Okay.
like
All right.
if shit goes south, I'm gonna fuck something up, basically.
Okay.
Uh, for the record, I am the worst class to have on a console.
Yes, you kind
For
of
the
back
enemy.
as you back away towards the door. Get your hand, kind of get your hands near it, and brace
Oh no,
yourself, looking about.
I'm not backing up. I like as soon as I heard that no one else was coming in, I just stopped. So I'm
Okay.
just standing by the door.
Okay. Alright. Then as he kind of looks back to you, looking then back to Azurus, he seems to ponder for a moment and then goes, "Cesperas hungry." As he kind of like rubs his hand, the center of his carapace with his one left hand, and claw, and goes, "You have troll meat. Men never eaten. Formian, or cat, and so hungry."
There'll be many fine vessels to take. I'm certain of it. But my crew are not up for trade, I'm sorry to say.
He kind of looks at you again, kind of tilts his head to the side and goes, "Cesperas not understand. Not trade. Eat."
Eat. Is that all you wish for? Food? Have you no wish for grandeur? More tasty delicacies? Have you tried? Hold on. Wara! I need you to bring me some booze! from our cook.
Oh no.
I have a gift for the captain.
I bang on the door twice and start walking to the plank.
Azuris, as you look back and Vikrat, you feel this on your back and clearly see it as Crump climbs out of the bag of Vicaret and seems to look like making a little like a soundtrack, his own little soundtrack as he's doing it, acting like he's being stealthy and unseen. As you both can clearly see and hear him, the Thrycreen do not seem to react. As he sneaks off of out of Vicaret's backpack down Vicaret's back and climbs between the legs of some of the Thrycreen.
So, Captain, how did you get those kobolds to work for you?
He tilts his head and goes, Sesperas served the single blade hive proudly.
A man of honor, I suppose, yes?
He nods.
What does it mean?
He just kind of stares at you at that conversation for a moment. We're going to come back to you in a second. Doots and Wara, as you two are out on the out on the ship, Doots, you do notice many of the koboldkin seem to be kind of watching and slowly making their way closer to you and Wara, but as you suddenly hear the banging on the door, as Wara seems to give a confirmation after hearing something and starts walking away, the kobolds almost seem to naturally back away from him as he starts to step around, and seem to kind of also give you a bit more space for a moment, as you two stand out there. The waters still seem clear and calm as you look about. Well, as calm as the choppiness that they were.
Anyone up for a shanty?
The kobolds.
Oh, wait.
Wara says that the kobolds all look at you and just kind of seem to eye you up. None of them seem to say anything.
Pull out my loot, and I'll once again begin playing the Flying Dutchman.
Alright, give me a perform check.
Though I'm not gonna start singing until one of them starts.
Okay.
So it's just gonna be a loop until I register one thing, and that is, do they know, or is this really a pirate ship at this point? 'Cause I am suspicious of them.
If they don't know pirate shanties, are they really even pirates?
Exactly. Thank you for same thinking here. 14.
As you start getting the beat going, Wara, you watch as Doots starts playing his lute. The much of the kobolds kind of watching. Even the one who'd been speaking, the largest of the group, kind of eyeing up. None of them seem to sing or do anything. As the rest, you start to hear the light sound of your own troll crew beginning to sing and hum in the background.
Oh, come on.
As I come to the edge of the plank, I yell across, "Give me a 10-gallon barrel of booze."
One of the trolls nods and starts walking down below deck. As they do so, a few minutes later, one of the trolls comes up, a couple of bruises upon their face, a barrel in their hands, as they look up and go, "Here, what? They're not happy down there right now."
Well, down below you can tell them the captain said to bring it across, so walk it across.
The troll kind of gets up, and the troll's going to make a balance check. That is a 12. That does succeed with their modifier, as they manage to walk across with the big barrel in hand. And hoisting it on their gut and pushing out their gut forward to allow it to kind of balance them backwards as they lean back with it, walking across. It takes them a moment, but as they get across, coming over, the other crew does not seem to still be singing, just seemingly watching and listening to Dutze's song.
As he hands the barrel to me, I'm gonna lean in and whisper, "Let the crew know to be ready for a possible fight." And then I walk up and go, "Thanks for the barrel," as I walk back to the doors.
You see him kind of nod, the troll, as he hands it to you, and climbs back on and over as he starts going amongst the crew, whispering. As you walk over to the door, you hear on the other side Azurus talking to something, though no response. As you go to go for the door, it is unlocked for your note, Wara.
He knocks.
I kick it twice.
My gift has arrived. Vicarette, will you please see that the booze are brought in?
All right.
When the door opens,
I'll
I'll start singing.
turn to and like pause by the door and look at the fucking dry cream. To make sure that he's okay with me opening the fucking door.
The Thrycrane doesn't seem to react as you look. Wait, are you talking about the captain, Thrycrane, that's sitting at the chair?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. As you look over him, he does not seem to react at all.
Okay, I'll open the door.
As you open the door, the Thrycrane don't seem to react. Wara, as you look in, you see the captain of the Thrycrane kind of looking at Azurus, the creature kind of eyeing you up now with its one good eye as it looks up and down for a moment. Doesn't seem to make a move, though, as it stays sitting there.
Is the kobold right there?
The kobold, the tall one, he is about 10 feet off to your right of the door, but yeah.
But he's in the room?
Not in the room, he's outside of the, on the deck
Oh,
of the
I
ship.
thought he was in the room.
No, he didn't go in.
Okay.
He stepped out with you.
Alright. I placed the barrel down in the room in front of Vicarette. There you go.
Yeah, I'll move the barrel further in the room and check to see if anyone else is coming in, and if they don't, I just close the door.
Okay, Wara.
I was gonna say I was gonna close the door but leave it cracked.
Okay. Vicar, as you turn to kind of start pushing the barrel forward, Azurus and Vicar also give me a search check, since you did catch the sight of Crump a moment ago, and let me know if you get above a 7. I am not looking at my computer at the moment. I'm fucking with my window for a moment. So
I literally cannot get below a 7.
you can roll. That's true, but you can roll a 7.
I did roll a 7.
Okay. Wow. Plus mod, or is that with the mod?
So I rolled a 4, and I have a +3 to my search checks.
Okay.
I have a plus 13 to my search check.
What'd you get, Vicar, at?
29.
Azurus, as you're kind of focused on the barrel and the tense situation right now, knowing that at any point these guys could turn on you and you are outnumbered in this action economy by a long shot, kind of trying to keep your cool while also analyzing a way out of this, in any way possible, looking amongst the faces and everything. You do notice there is a little figurine that catches your eye now that the illusion is gone that looks to be of Clackarak, the leader of the Thrycrane, and looks to have a little heart design to it, as if a cute a kid drew it onto it. And that's the only thing that kind of catches your eye as you suddenly get caught back to watching as Vicarette pushes the barrel over towards you and kind of eyeing Cesperus's motion, facial expressions to see how he reacts as the barrel gets closer. Vicarette, as you look about, you do see Crump has managed to sneak his way right behind this captain of Thrycrane, and seems to be waiting there. You see his hands glowing as if he has a spell prepped, waiting for the cue.
So
I like this. This sounds funny.
As you back towards the door after pushing the barrel up next to Azura's kind of heading back, you do see as the door is now closed, but as you kind of notice, it is just barely cracked enough to where you notice that it hasn't fully locked. As you can hear the sounds of Wara on the other side as he seems to. I assume, Wara, do you have your back towards to the door, or like with your hand on the knob trying to make sure it stays there, or do you have like your ear and like head against the wall? What do you think? What are you doing?
I'm not holding the door.
Mm-hmm.
I'm facing mostly away from the door, listening to Doots play and sing.
Okay.
As I join along with the singing in a low tone.
Okay.
I will be motioning for the crew to, come on, join in. You gotta know the lyrics.
They do not seem to respond, but we'll jump back to you two in a moment as the light singing continues. Vikaret and Azuris, we jump back in with you two as we look at this, the captain. The sounds of the music playing in the background as you can hear even Wara's like low rumbling of a bit of singing on the other side of the door. Cesperas looks at the alcohol and looks at you and just waits.
All right. I will pour myself a cup of this. I'll take a sip of it to show it's fine, and then place it on and pass it to the captain. And also ask, say, it's a nice picture you got there. Who drew it?
And looks at you and goes, nasty troll meat named Sen? Red? Something. He kind of looks at the alcohol and you see kind of like glances at it and looks up at you and kind of looks back down at the alcohol again and goes, why poison Cesperas? Are you wanting to be enemies?
This is a fine beverage amongst pirates.
This is poison.
A spiced whiskey. I just drink some myself. And I am by no means poison resistant.
He looks over at Vikaret, and you see him kind of there. Vikaret, his expression is not. It wouldn't be normally clear to someone who doesn't know much about Thrycranes, but as you catch his view for a moment, something about it seems to have soured suddenly. As he looks over at you and then looks back over at Azurus and goes, you poison, and you bring Formian. Cesperas sees you not as friend. Challenge?
A challenge of what?
To the death. You come here, fight Hive, take Hive, challenge for right to... Kind of looks for a second, goes, captainship, as he seems to slow the word slowly.
Just you and me?
He looks about the rest of the Thrycreen and then looks at you again and nods an affirmative.
Now, on deck, what are your terms, Captain?
Cesperas kill you. Take your crew, eat them. You
Do
kill
I hear all
Cesperas. He is not talking quietly. Go ahead and give me a listen check. Nope.
9.
Nope. Yeah, the singing is has caught your attention enough, and it's loud enough at this point from Doots and the other and your own crew to be kind of contagious at this point. While you're focusing also in on the kobold to make sure none of them seem to be moving in to do anything, your attention is drawn elsewhere during this. While they continue speaking within. Cesperas just looks at you and waits for your response, Azurus.
Let me see something really quick. Trying to figure out if I have something that'd be very useful right now. Actually, before we get into this, I'll ask. Can you swim?
The creature just kind of turns its head to the side, and then to the other side, and goes, Cesperos not understand. Challenge or no?
Come on, spell. Where are you?
What do you
All
want to
right.
do? Mm-hmm.
Allow me, a fellow captain, to take one last sip before we begin our duel.
The creature seems to kind of pause and looks about once more and goes, why?
Would you not allow a dying man one last drink to quench his thirst?
No. Tastes better without poison.
Well, I'll grab my cup, take one sip, and just splash it in his face.
Everyone roll initiative for me. As we pick up... Oh my, okay, well that wasn't expected.
16.
I was trying to figure out how to help you cheat in duel.
Yeah. 16. Alright.
And my first.
I'm
That is
gonna
a-
die.
That is a 20 initiative.
20 for Azurus.
19 for Vip.
Alright, Vicaret at 19. Doots.
Natural 1 for a 4.
Oof, Doots, today is not your days to roll. You should have kept the mustache. Apparently it gives you good luck.
Um,
Give me a moment. Azurus,
God, I wish I knew.
what's your dex real quick?
My dex is 16.
Okay, so you will go second. So they rolled in a 20 as well. However, you beat out the hive. Oh man, I didn't expect you to fail that or to fail this negotiation. Not gonna lie.
Well, I was kind of having a trouble with whatever the fuck this guy is. Can't really reason with him.
It's true. Give me a minute. You're good. I just think it's funny. I didn't expect this today.
So be it, I'll kill him, take his crew, and that'll be that.
Well, we're about to find out. Give me a moment. I'm just getting my last bit done. Alright, and then one last roll here. Oh, hey, you know, that helps.
I have a question. Is Crump able to get his thing off since he was kind of waiting for it?
Yeah, he's got a surprise round, don't worry. Alright, so there are...
Uses enlarged monster and heroism on the enemy.
No, but I do need to roll Crump's initiative as well. Thank you for reminding me of that. Ah, that's unfortunate. Oh, no, well, that's not it, but that does basically assimilate what I'm about to have to deal with here. Alright. No, well, don't worry, you aren't the worst one, dudes.
Yay.
Crump rolled his nat 1. And...
It's a dirty one.
It is a dirty one. Alright. As he is up first for the surprise round on the initiative, he is going to go ahead and cast Touch of Idiocy on the captain. Who else? Give me one moment to pull up my listing for him. I didn't expect a fight with him. If I can find the fucking thing. There we go. What's up?
Whispering sweet madness into the captain, the enemy captain's ears. He's like, "Did you know you can overcome poison by injecting bleach into your veins?"
He does. It's if I remember right. Save is caster level plus 10 plus spell level, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. As the Crump seems to grab hold.
Or it's spell level plus modifier.
All right.
plus 10.
I will just confirm. Don't worry. Anytime it's questioned, it's just better for me to go and pull it up and get the exact.
That's why my dominate monster is.
All right. As the Crump goes to cast, though, it don't matter, as it's still a save or a fail regardless. As you watch the individual, let me see what my roll is. Okay. 1d6. Alright. As you watch the creature immediately, as it seems to almost go blank in the eyes, the Thrycreen seems to, as it gets ready to stand, a Crump grabbing hold of it, pulling it down into the chair. The captain kind of looks about, almost dumbfounded for a moment, and then seems to look about almost sporadically amongst the rest of his crew. You do notice his crew look to be looking around just as much and dotting around their heads inside as far as the Thrycreen go. As they all looked about, kind of almost darting about like birds. That ends Crump's surprise round. Alright. At the top of the initiative is the captain himself. And he is immediately just going to try... Actually... Okay. He is going to try to grab hold and pull Azurus in. Azurus, you get an attack of opportunity as he is going to try and grapple you.
Gotcha, that's just a melee attack, right? No
Yep.
spells, no nothing like that.
Yep.
Alright. Okay, let me see. Where's my weapon? That's right, I have a scimitar. Okay. Does a 17 hit?
It does not, sadly. Okay. As he...
You taking it to a... He hasn't gone yet, right?
This is his turn. He's the
Oh,
first...
okay,
Yeah,
right.
he's initiating the grapple, yeah. Alright, so, Azurus, and I believe you're medium, so you don't get any bonuses to it, sadly. Alright.
I'm large.
Oh, you are large. So you did play a +4 to your check?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
So that'd be 21 to hit.
I believe so, yeah. I believe that's correct, if I'm reading right. Repeatedly grappling. Oh, no, I'm wrong on that. Never mind, that's only for the check. Disregard. So, never mind, no, without the 4. Okay. Yeah. So, as you go to swing on the creature, that's right, he is your cohort. Yeah, you are flanking, so that's a +2. So, that'd be 19?
19.
That does hit. Go ahead and roll damage then. And he does fail to grapple.
All right. I'm gonna roll my sweet D8. That's 10 damage.
10 points of damage. As
Yep,
you... Go ahead.
Scimitar just shing.
As you slam your scimitar into his hand, shoving, kind of cutting at to slice it away, you watch as it hits the carapace, managing to almost make a loud clinging noise as it bounces off, pushing the hand away. Sephiroth looks at you, not having moved, and is going to... Actually, is that a full action? Ba-ba-ba. He is going to go ahead and swing on you once more with his own scimitar to hit. Ba-ba-ba. Did I really? Oh, I closed my own thing here. There we go. There it is. All right. There we go. 24.
That will hit me.
Okay. Alright, as he pulls his silver blade, it does 11 points of slashing damage as he slashes or pulls it out and almost immediately catches you with it, cutting at your hand that had cut at his own. Irritated and angry, he has not used his other bladed hand, or his actual bladed hand to attack you yet. That ends his turn as he hits you with as the blade strikes into you. Azurus, you are up.
Let's see. So, since this is, I haven't had to do a save in a while. How do you determine saves? It's just like 10 plus your spellcasting. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Plus...
it's 10 plus your casting stat modifier in this case. So if you are a charisma caster, your charisma modifier, your wisdom caster, wisdom modifier, plus the spell's level.
Gotcha. Thank you. Okay. Okay, I need a fortitude save.
All right. He is going to... oops, not 12d20. That would be horrible. Plus 6. That is 9.
You fail. I have casted Drown.
Ah!
You create water in the lungs of the subject, causing it to begin drowning, as if it had failed to continue holding its breath. The subject's hit points immediately drop to 0.
Or it would if this creature didn't have water breathing.
Water breathing? On a Thrycreen?
You read the world news. Don't blame me. As you cast the spell, you watch as the creature seems to look at you. Its head kind of turning side to side. You see its chest increases in size, but nothing seems to be bothered. The creature just stares at you.
Hold on, I've got a question about the water breathing and the lungs issue thing.
I thought it was the other way around, Chaston. Because the Thrycreen's the captain.
Yeah, what's your question, Wara? Go ahead.
So it means the Thrycreen has lungs and gills?
Correct.
So the lungs would still fill with water, which would suffocate him in the air because the water is not in the gills.
Creatures that have the ability to deal with or to take in oxygen from water typically have it so that their lungs can fill with water without any ill effect. It's just they can't breathe at the same time. So yes, right now the creature theoretically cannot breathe and will start to take damage, but it does not take an immediate death effect from it.
Xeris, what's the spell that you're using?
Drown.
Drown.
And I believe it doesn't. It does not affect those who have water breathing.
Undead construct creatures that do not need to breathe and creatures that can breathe underwater are unaffected by this spell.
Yep, so water breathing is the special quality. Yeah, as you look at the creature, the Thrycreen looks unaffected as you kind of stare at it for a second. You haven't heard the world news yet. You have no idea of this, Azura, so the only thing that kind of comes to mind at the moment is as you think for a second, the kobolds outside all did have gills on their necks, meaning, they are all water dragon kobolds.
Well, I knew they were water dragons.
Yeah, that's what I'm mentioning. As you kind of put two and two together, you assume there's some sort of relationship going on here. And if these creatures come from the ship that's underwater, it makes sense they'd be able to breathe underwater.
Fine. So, based on your rules, I can still cast another spell if I don't move, right? Or is that?
Yeah, you haven't moved yet. Yep, you're still good.
All right. Excellent. I threw a whole bunch of alcohol in this guy, so I'm gonna hit him with flame blade.
Oh. um. Now, I'm just going to ask a common sense question. Are you familiar with what happens when you light a torch next to an open barrel of alcohol?
There's water all around us.
I know
fine.
that. I'm just asking for your teammates who can't swim.
I can make him swim.
Okay, all right. As long as you've got a plan, I'm just making sure you've thought that far ahead. All right, Captain Jack Sparrow, go ahead with your attack. As you pull out your blade and light it aflame.
All right. So what's really great is that attacks with this flame blade are melee touch attacks.
Oh. That might
So,
it's not as great. Uh-huh.
Let's rock it. Let's rock and roll. So that is a 18 touch attack.
Yeah, that hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
I just imagine it's gonna explode. So
It's like
I'm mid lyric, just like turn this ship around me.
Thank you, dudes.
No problem.
What'd you roll, Azurus?
all right. So let's see, because it's a D8 of fire damage plus 1 per 2 caster levels. So that would be what level? Okay, so 7 fire damage to this alcohol-covered Thrycreen.
Okay, so he is unfortunately weak to it, and if I'm right, weakness and 3.5 still works the same way, so we're good. Alright, as he takes extra damage, you hear the creature screech out as the fire catches hold, beginning to blaze. The other Thrycreen around the room almost begin mimicking him exactly as he starts trying to grab at his face, trying to put out the flames. Alright, Azurus, you've done your 2 attacks. As the blade lights across, cutting into him, kind of flame catching hold. Is there anything you want to say or do before I move on to the next person? Or anything else?
I think I'll say, heard bug tastes like chicken.
As you watch the burning and Crump pull away as his hand slightly catches a flame. Who's still behind the guy, by the way. All right. The alcohol will, from what you can tell, as he's starting to kind of swing about, it does not catch flame on this round.
That's fine.
All right. As you end your turn, the Thrycreen are going to all make their will saves to see if they can break free. Ba-ba-bum. Let me just pull up my note here. There we go. As they do so, oh no! All right, well that's a fail. They are still under the control and thus cannot do anything, ending their turn. Vicarette, as you look about, you watch as the Thrycreen all around seem to be mimicking the captain sitting in the chair, who's patting at himself, trying desperately to no avail to wipe the alcohol and put out the flames off of his body. All the other Thrycreen seemingly mimicking exactly as he does so. As you stand at the door, what would you like to do?
Am I able to read Azurus where I'm standing?
He's about 10 feet in front of you. What's your reach?
I have a 5-foot reach.
Then no, not in this situation. You'd have to take a step
Okay,
forward
well,
to get
if I don't take any other movement actions, I can 5-foot step as part of another action. I believe that.
Yep.
I'm going to activate Magruchu Sanctuary just in case.
Okay.
And then I'm going to step up to the captain, and I'm going to give him.
You're gonna give him. Okay. I want to make sure you did cut out there for a second.
I'm going to give him an infusion, which is we're going to go with armor enhancement greater.
Okay.
And we're gonna go with see what this does.
Most dating apps
Thank you, dudes.
Most dating
You're
apps.
welcome. You're welcome.
If that's what the armor's gonna do, I have a lot of questions to ask there, you know. But all right, so as the armor
Oh
begins
yeah.
to shift and
Um,
change and begins to glow, go ahead.
I'm gonna give him I'm just gonna make the armor +5.
Oh, all right. Azurus, you watch as your armor begins to thicken. I believe you're wearing leather armor, right?
I am wearing dark leaf breastplate.
Ah, yes. As your armor begins to thicken, the leaves seemingly to grow and expand. They seem to cover fully, expanding around your entire body. You watch as this stuff gets seems to feel like it should get heavier as it expands, covering everything. However, you feel as if you're still wearing the same armor. It starts to glow as it does so, and you feel as if now you can actually take a hit from anybody as you stand there after Vikrit kind of pads your armor for a moment. And Zurus laughs out. The Thrycreen still seem to be mimicking as if they're putting out their fires. Vikret, you took your 5-step forward to do your Artificer Infusion. Anything else you'd like to do?
No, that's all of my actions. I also activated the Brutus Sanctuary.
All right. Going down as you activate the Boots Sanctuary, getting ready. They begin to glow as well. And I believe what was Sanctuary is.
If they want to include me in any hostile actions, they have to make a DC-17 will save.
That's right. Okay, good to know. Appreciated.
And if they fail that, they don't get to attack me.
Okay, as you activate the boots, a glowing like armor seemingly surrounding you. As it does so, as this light almost appears like mage armor to protect you, the creatures still seem yet to be even notice your presence. All right, as you end your turn, Wara, you are up.
As I can sense the hostilities, do I see the kobold in front of me becoming hostile?
The kobolds around you seem to be just kind of standing there, listening not only to the singing coming from the other ship, but also watching as Dutz is continuing to sing. They don't seem to have noticed as of yet that there's fighting going on inside the captain's quarters.
With a, sorry, Dutz. I face the kobolds in front of me on the deck, and I roar.
Okay. You roar out. I believe that's one of your abilities, right?
Yes, it is, and there's going to be a long turn following this, because I'm also, at the same time I roar, I'm going to pounce on the nearest kobold.
Okay.
So, for the roar, fortitude saves all across.
Alrighty.
And that's basically, let's see, 60-foot diameter.
Yes, I believe so.
Yep, 30 feet away from me, all the way around in 360 degrees. That includes the entire captain's chambers. Minus my allies.
Okay. I was about to ask. Let's see. Alright, there it is. That's what I was looking for. Okay. You said fortitude?
Yeah. Oh, shit. They have to beat a 13.
Oh, no. Alright, well.
Yeah.
For
that was with a nat 1 roll.
Thrycreen soldiers, that's a 15. Fortitude is con based, so that's not affected, so that's still got his plus. The captain, that's a 20, not natural, and then the kobolds all have as a unit. 14. So
All
not
right,
a single
so
failed.
everyone's saved.
Yep.
But still, it's
You've caught the
It's the start of
attention
the
of all
action.
the you've caught the attention of all the kobolds as they seem to all look over towards you. I imagine Dudes'
Yeah.
song kind of coming to a stop as you roar out. Good.
and I'm pouncing on the nearest kobold in front of me.
Okay.
That's a 25 to hit.
That hits.
All right, that's an automatic 2 rake attack. Here's the first rake.
Okay. And then the second.
I almost put 1d20. It's 1d6.
Lovely amount of.
That
And
would
the
have been
second
nice amount
rake
of
is
damage.
6 points of damage.
As you tear into the Thrycreen,
Hold on.
kobold. Yep.
As I was flying through the air, unfortunately, my monologue kicked in. I need to roll to see how long this is going to last.
Y'all about to find out the downside of Laura here in a minute. How many of you like random facts about things you're never going to use?
Oh, he's autistic.
No!
This is going to last 4 rounds.
It's even worse. Go ahead.
As I am flying through the air, aiming after I roared, holding my shield and sword flying through the air at the first kobold near me. This Instructable will teach you the very basics of hand embroidery. And then I land and I rake him twice. This is all my first action, right?
Your pounce is your action. The rakes, are they auto success?
They are auto
Yeah.
on a
Yeah, they do.
successful
They're
pounce.
auto. So it count. Yeah, that's one. That's technically one action. Yeah.
All right, and then I'm gonna take a swing.
I will say, as you tear into this kobold beneath you, shredding him with your blade, after jumping on top of him, just saying this in the most calm manner, you hear not only screams coming from all around you from the crew members shocked and surprised at the attack, but also the one beneath you seems to be more fearful as you calmly start reading out what basically sounds like a manual of how to embroider as you tear into him and watch as his body gets torn to shreds and he is dead.
Then we got lots more to do now. Because I'm still on my first action.
You know, I mean, I'm not going to tell you to stop because there's no reason, but I was hoping we'd at least be able to keep the kobolds alive because I assume they were. That's fine. Do what you need to do.
I think the Thrycreen are the ones that are enslaved, not the other way around. But I could be wrong.
Let's see.
I don't know. The Thrycreen were the captain. At least I think they are.
That's how it was implied by the large kobold. But all right, Laura, there's your first action as you kill him.
No, it's not. We're not over.
Yeah.
Because as I read about the embroidery, now everyone except for 5 targets of my choosing have to make 2 fortitude saves.
All right.
Oh.
And I have to roll another intimidation.
Man, this guy really knows a lot about embroidery.
He does. Alright, so everyone but 5, you said? Or you designate 5?
Minus the 5 I designate, so everyone in my immediate party
Okay.
does not need to roll. So basically, the kobolds and all the Thrycreen.
Yep, I got it. 17.
Fail, they fall asleep.
25.
Saves, does not fall asleep.
And then 17.
Fails, falls asleep.
Alright, so as the crew almost immediately all fall or pass out, dropping one after another. You watch, dudes, as your music or maybe Laura's speech frightens and then puts seems to almost knock them out as all around, one by one, the crew starts to drop. The sounds of snoring can be heard even within the Tharkane captain's quarters as you watch Azurus and Vicaret, as the captain, who's still ablaze, is trying to wipe the flames off of his body, trying to get away with them, as the rest of the Thrycreen in the room just start dropping one after another, collapsing onto themselves, their chests, the chest cavity of their carapace rising up and down at an even rate as they do so, leaving you alone, basically, only with the conscious captain, who is currently on fire. Alright, Wara, you've knocked them all out, yeah.
They will be asleep for 1 minute.
1 minute, okay.
Ooh.
And the captain has to do a second save for the intimidation effect. Because he did pass.
Alright. He did. It's another, you said it's another fortitude?
Yep.
Okay.
And that's just for the intimidation effect then.
Yep, no worries. 16.
He fails the intimidation effect.
Okay. Is that...
But he doesn't see me, so it doesn't really matter.
Yep, and is
knows-
currently distracted because
Don't
he's
go
on
through the
fire.
doors.
Yep.
Yeah. And also, he doesn't want to go through those doors.
Okay.
All right. And now, you said I killed the kobolds I landed on?
Yes, you did. The one beneath you is a puddle muss of nothing but blood and guts and muscle.
Is there a... How many kobolds are within 5 feet?
5 feet? None. They 10 feet. About 7 of them, roughly.
Well, because they're not within 5 feet, they get to live. I have great cleave.
You would kill sleeping enemies, dog. That's so.
No. This is all within the first action, so they're still falling down. I'm basically raging.
Mm-hmm. Although you can't see anything. And to Dutes, it looks like as if water is just completely calm and normal.
Just like picture a vortex of claws and a soothing, like lecture on crocheting.
Yep. Yep. Basically.
And
Go ahead.
because I'm basically raging, I have to kill every enemy.
Yep. Everyone you
Listen.
deem as hostile or a threat to you.
The more people that we get to capture, the more crew I get, and I need crew.
Well,
Would I consider sleeping enemies hostile?
You're an honorable sort, if I remember right. That was like part of your the thing. Noting that they're dropping their weapons and don't seem to be capable of fighting back. They could be a threat potentially if they were faking it. But as you look about, as they're dropping to the ground, none of them are actively going for any weapon and seem to be able to be moving. So as an immediate look around, it doesn't seem like there's a threat.
All right, then I'm going to use my last action to run to the captain's doors and rip them open.
You just come over to the doors, Vicaret and Azurus, as you're staring at the captain of the ship burning now, kind of trying to wipe away at the alcohol. The unconscious Thrycreen are around. You hear as the door gets ripped off behind you, just a look of complete calm and just normalcy on Wara's face, though heavy panting, as you look behind and just see bodies lying around the ground.
And his feet are covered in blood.
Mm-hmm. Alright. Wara, as you pull off the door...
Flinch.
Huh?
Yeah. I wasn't expecting the door to explode suddenly, so I flinched, like, whoa.
And he tears it off the hinges with ease. Alright. Wara, is that end your turn?
Yeah, because the last action was me... Actually, no. Because that was my movement, and I have 2 attacks.
Well, it's movement. Oh yeah, because you're a fighter. I forgot about that. Yep.
Yeah. So how far did I just walk?
You would have pounced about 5 feet forward onto the guy, then turned back around to walk back 10 feet to the door. Pulling the door off, you've got about 15 feet between the door at the doorway and to where he is at. The captain in the captain's quarters.
Then I'm gonna finish my movement
Mm-hmm.
by walking to the captain.
Mm-hmm. Who's on fire, covered in alcohol. Mm-hmm.
That's fine.
Okay.
I'm gonna swing like hell.
Oh no. Alright. Let me double check this. If you're feared, does that make you easier to hit?
Yes.
I thought it just applied.
Also, I rolled a
No.
26
No, it does
to
not
hit.
count as a combat modifier, sadly. There. Oh no, it does. It does. Oh, it's only attack rolls. When he for him making attack rolls against you, it'd be a -2. Okay. 26 to hit. That hits. Go ahead and roll
figured.
damage. Oh, you figured, huh? All right. Well, time to bring out
Yeah.
the extra bits. Okay.
There, 12 points of damage.
Damn. All right. Jesus. He is still on fire. Azurus, can you give me a d6 for the fire as well?
Yeah, I sure can.
That is 38.
5.
Another 5. That is, okay, 33. Alright, as you slash into him, Wara, running over to him and attacking him, the fear in a Thrycreen's eyes is hard to be able to appreciate, especially if you're not familiar with insectoids. However, as you get closer, the creature seemingly like trying to push itself away from you and wipe the alcohol off of itself at the same time clearly shows the creature's concern and worry for you over its own situation. As you swing on the creature, cutting down hard, you watch as his blade goes flying off, cracking into the wall. The blade, as in the blade on his hand. As it does so, you do watch it begins to where the blade makes contact with the ship begins to burn slightly in smoke. All right, Wara, do you have another attack with that, or is that the last attack?
No, that is, unfortunately, my last attack.
All right. As you swing on him and watch this chunk of his carapace go flying away, ending your turn, we jump to the kobolds who are all asleep. It's a fortitude save. Oh no, it's just it's 4 rounds until they're
A minute.
It's a minute. Yeah, 10 rounds until they're awake. Okay. All right. So that'll bump to 9 for them now. Dudes. And the initiative, you are up finally. All the kobolds, as you look about the deck, are asleep as your your performance is still kind of lightly going. Your crew still seems to be singing along jollily in the background. Dudes? Oh, okay. I can cheer you there.
Yeah, no, I'm here. So I'm gonna turn around. Do I have a clean shot on the captain or no?
Looking over to the side at the angle, you've got Vicaret, Azurus, both kind of standing in front of the desk. So the little shot you've got them kind of in the way of. He's got half cover right now, technically.
Okay. So I'm not gonna do that. I want that guy's wand. The
Okay.
large
Kobold?
kobold. The large kobold's wand.
Okay.
You speak louder.
Just gonna go walk over and loot it.
I'm gonna loot it.
All right, give me a search check.
All right.
Because I assume you're not trying to hide this from your party, as they're all focused inside the captain's quarters right now, not really looking back at what you're doing.
Yeah, I feel like they got bigger fish to fry right now. They're not really paying attention to me. I got a 17.
17. All right. As you look about, you do find a wand of prestidigitation. It has 50 or 48 out of 50 charges left, and refills or does not auto refill.
Okay.
So you only get the 48 charges. All right.
And since I'm supposed to treat this guy as my captain, I'll turn over and ask. So we're keeping the crew?
I'm a little busy at the moment.
No. I'll walk in the room, like stand in the doorway.
But yes, Caleb, I don't want the more people I can bring over, the better. That's the whole point.
I need to check how big this spell's AoE is before I cast it, unfortunately, as I don't want to harm my allies, and I don't have any means to not do that.
Those are the famous last words of every party that ever had a wizard that gained Fireball.
So, Caleb, I just want to let you know that, like, every Threat Queen except the captain's asleep right now.
I see.
Also, as far as hitting the captain with an AoE spell and not hitting your allies, you literally cannot.
Okay, so I won't use that invocation. Instead, I'll give up my second attack and walk all the way in the room until I can have a full, clean shot on the man.
All right. As you head into the quarters with them now, kind of getting up to the doorway. What's your movement speed, Boots?
My movement speed is...
I assume 30 feet, but
yeah.
I've learned my lesson with Monster Monday. Okay. Yeah, as you get to the doorway and kind of make it in a little bit, about another 10 feet, you end up right behind Vicaret and Azuris as they stand kind of slightly in front of this desk. You can see off to the side is Wara, and then behind, clearly Crump kind of reading another spell in his hand as you walk up as you end your turn. I'm just gonna check this. Okay. Crump is up, and as he smiles and goes, I have the hugest spells, the biggest spells, the greatest spells. He is going to cast Firebolt at the giant barrel of alcohol.
I love you so much, Crump.
As he pulls out his little wand off of his side. I think it's fire. It is. Yeah, here it is.
Go over and touch the wand and turn it into an ice wand. No, joking.
It works. All right. We're gonna see. It is his attack. All right. Give me 1 second.
It'd be funny. It'd be really funny.
I just gotta remember if a barrel has an A. Yes, barrels do have AC. Okay.
It's like 10.
It is. I had to look up what. Somehow, some way, Crump shoots a little firebolt out of this wand, and it goes wide of the barrel and hits the ground next to it, catching a flame, a little bit of the alcohol that splashes out, and you watch as the ship starts to catch as the wood it seems to blaze in a little bit, though right now just a small spark. As Crump seeing this is going to look at you all, gonna smile, and then going to roll his bluff check. And as he looks up at all of you, he goes, I can't believe that Doots would bring in the people to across the borders and across our ships to do this to us. Doots, I knew you are the enemies of this crew, and you all fully believe Doots is the one who cast that firebolt. As Crump turns and starts scuttling away.
Doesn't that kind of only work if you don't see somebody just do it?
With a 48 and bluff, can you beat that?
I feel like there needs to be reason here.
He takes a penalty for it being like obviously untrue.
Let me see.
Up to and including auto failure.
Like, we literally just watched this man do it. He's like, he did it.
Yes. However, all right. I'll tell you what. Each of you give me a sense mode to see if you can catch on to that you can catch the line. All right, I'll make that fair. That's true. Wara is in a rage. Wara doesn't even care.
That's a wisdom check. I can't do that.
Yep. Wara does not even care in the moment.
All right.
I know I didn't do it,
That's
but I
just
rolled anyway.
That's 19.
19. Okay. And as both of you look at him, and as he looks up and says this, both of you think he's telling the truth, though something seems odd about the topic, as you see him holding the wand, but then it disappears, and you're not sure if he ever had one as he scurries off. So, it doesn't make sense. Crump hasn't shown that he has any magic items before. However, as you look over at Doots, you are now holding a little wand of fire.
I'm gonna kill him.
As he scuttles away, not trying to hide his presence. At the top of the initiative,
Dude's excellent thinking. You're doing such a great job.
I'm gonna see. Does the barrel does not save from the flame?
Yes!
I need a reflex save from everyone. Wara, you are included in this because even with a rage, you have at least a sense of when you're about to die. I feel like an imminent explosion would be enough to catch your attention. So.
Yep, no, that I'm allowed to do.
Okay. Alright, all reflex saves as the barrel begins to take a blaze and begin. Alright, Vicarette turns, starts running out of Wara. Even quicker.
Natural 20.
Wara doesn't go to the door. Wara just goes to the back wall, tears into it, and jumps out the hole he makes.
Actually, I'm gonna roll another.
16.
16, okay. Success.
No,
20.
no, not.
20, okay.
21.
21. Alright, as you watch Wara, as the three of you kind of turn and start running for the door almost immediately as you see the alcohol beginning to catch a blaze. Sensing the danger, you both rush out the door as the sound of the explosion begins to erupt. The alcohol first catching a blaze, and there's a quick moment of quiet as you hear Wara just jump and tear into the back wall of the captain's quarters, going through a terrible hole into the water. Wara, do give me a swim check as you land in the water. The rest of you watch as you get outside of the captain's quarters as this alcohol explodes out, blasting out the back of the captain's quarters and the back of the ship, killing the Thrycreen within as it emblazons the entirety of the ship.
The enemy captain also has to make a reflex save, right?
What? Sorry?
Enemy captain?
He can't succeed. He's going out with the impact.
Oh, okay, cool.
He can't make the save. Given the fact that he's in a sitting position, there's no way that's working out. Also, with the reflex save, I can't make the DC, so I'm not going to bother rolling. As the creature basically gets blasted out of his chair, the desk go flying out. The back of the captain's quarters goes engulfs in flames as the wood explodes out all around you, Wara. The rest of you watch as the ship kind of begins to catch a flame. The kobolds are still unconscious as you step onto the main deck of the ship. You do watch as another ship begins to float up out of the water right behind the ship. Seemingly coming out and looking almost identical as another long sloop, though as you look about it, it is completely unmanned, as no one seems to come to above deck after a few moments.
I'm going to call for half the men aboard my ship to come aboard this one, tie up people, while I use my create water spell to put out the fire.
Okay. You watch as Wara kind of seems to, as he sees the giant mast of the ship kind of coming out of the water, seems to swim over towards where the ship is starting to rise and kind of get on board as it rises out of the water, sputtering the water out.
Ready to kill anything as an enemy.
Yeah, watching and looking about. Give me a listen check, Wara, as you do so, or as you're kind of looking about.
I can't.
That's right. You're still raged. As you wait for anything to come out of the deck. Yes.
For what it's worth, spot and listen are not actions that require concentration. So you should theory be able to make them.
I think you're correct in that.
Hold on. Let me pull it up.
It's not.
It's to a level,
you
so you
can't-
can't hear conversations, but you can hear alarms of like people coming at you. The point of it being is that in battle, even a barbarian who's lost himself can sense when something's coming to attack him and can hear things.
Okay, it's intelligence-based skills I cannot use.
Yeah,
and
this is wisdom.
So yes,
Yep.
I can.
Yep, you're good.
Okay.
And if we're not in combat speed, I'm going to
Yeah.
give the ship that I'm on resistance 10 to resistance 10 higher.
Okay. Yeah, as you lean down, beginning to cast your incantation from your artificer's ability, spells. Okay, we'll go with that word for right now. The wood beginning to darken in its coloration almost all around as it does so. As Azura begins shooting water onto the ship, the rest of the crew half the crew coming aboard to help out, not only grabbing the kobolds and tying them up, but also making sure they're trying to grab buckets to get and moving anything away that looks like it could be flammable from the fires as they begin to work. Wara, meanwhile, as you stay on the other ship, you begin to listen about, and at first expecting the sounds of battle, footsteps, anything. Other than as you look back at the rest of your crew on the other ship, kind of putting out the fire. Dudes, are you playing music at this point, or are you assisting with putting out fire?
I'll assist with putting out the fire.
Okay. As you watch as your crew or group kind of continues to put out the fire on the back of the ship, nothing comes up. As you kind of start to step forward towards the what you see a grate in the center of the ship that allows you to kind of look down to the cargo bay, with the little bit of sunlight that's peering through the clouds above. As you get a glimpse, there's nothing in there other than a bit of water.
Okay. I'm gonna.
I have a question.
I all of a sudden feel really exhausted, and I put my shield on my back and my sword in its scabbard, and just sit on the deck.
Okay.
Did Calypso notice anything about the ship as it was coming up?
No, Calypso didn't flag you for anything. No dangers, no nothing. Seemingly having left it alone, as it seemed to be no threat to you. But as it comes to deck, it doesn't take you long to watch as you're kind of putting the fires out and seeing through the now blown out back of the captain's quarters walls. The slight smell of burning carapace on the air. You look back and the ship looks to be empty as you watch Wara just kind of sit down, putting his shield on his back, his weapon, sheathing his weapon, and just kind of sits there. I imagine kind of giving a yawn in the background as you kind of lean against one of the walls a little bit.
Oh no, I'm in the middle of the deck and I just plop on my back, just lay down.
All right, fair enough.
Is that Thrycreen captain's arm still stuck into the wall?
Yes, it is still there because the side wall wasn't blown out, only the back wall. Where as you look out into the water, his body, as well as most of the Thrycreen, look to be you don't see them even floating up.
Vicarette. I know you are acquainted with good craftsmanship. If you ever have the time, I would really appreciate if that Thrycreen's blade arm were to be turned into a new weapon for myself. If that is okay with you.
Yeah.
Any remaining Thrycreen parts are yours.
As you look about, and there are no other bodies.
Yeah, well, sorry. We'll see what they have in the hold, but first off, line the prisoners up!
You watch as the trolls kind of begin to work about it. Vicarette, are you going to take the arm blade out of the wall, I assume?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And I'm also gonna, because I know that the ship will sell for more if it's fully repaired, I'm gonna begin casting repair mod. I'm gonna use all of my second level infusion slots to repair moderate damage until the ship is back to full, which is 68 plus.
Hell yeah, that's my boat swing.
Remind me, while you're looking that up real quick for the HP, is it just to be able to be formable, meaning the ship is just going to be back to normal shape, or is it to the specifications it was before it got blown up, meaning all details including bookshelves and small bits of furniture?
It's just the ship.
Okay.
I can't, the furniture is fucked.
I figured as much, but I figured I'd ask because you never know with artificers if how expensive their stuff goes. So, okay. 36, okay. Yeah, good.
DM, let me know when I have enough strength to stand up and speak loudly again, would you?
Okay. Oh, I will. Yeah. No. As you hear the other crew kind of beginning to work, the sounds of the wood on the other ship beginning to crack. You just kind of stare up at the lovely sky, feeling the water kind of rock you. It's quite soothing, as it's very beautiful and peaceful now.
As I'm laughing, laying on my back.
Yeah. As we jump back over to the rest of the party, as you lot, Azura shouts this out. Vikrat begins hammering away, pulling out their craftsman tools, and begins working at carving runes into the wood to make them basically regrow, trying to regrow the planks back to shape. The sounds of the wood cracking in the background. Azura stepping out with the trolls to look at the kobolds as they're being pulled together. Some of them being slapped awake. Dutes, what are you wanting to do during this?
Uh, I'm not gonna really be doing anything big. I'll be standing near Azurus while he talks to the prisoners, more listening. I will be hiding, like putting the wand of prestidigitation away
Mm-hmm.
in my bag.
Okay. Alright, as you kind of pocket the wand, making sure no one sees it as you do so, kind of acting like you're fixing something, as you kind of turn to one of the corners and quickly shove it into your bag. As you do so, give me a sleight of hand check. Go ahead. Oh, I thought I heard someone say something.
This is gonna make it awkward when I ask later on about a wand.
Yeah?
Vikrat is literally just gonna be like, that wand you want to see.
Uh,
Meaning the
You
fire
got a 9?
wand that you have.
I got a 19.
19. Okay. As you put away the wand, the prestidigitation wand, you notice out of the corner of your eye a little blonde cat kind of watching you with his bright orange skin underneath, as he seems to like have his head poking out as you kind of turn to look over your shoulder for a moment to see if Azurus is like come back in or something, and you just see a little Crump kind of leaning into the door into the room a little bit, looking at you, and as you make eye contact, he pulls his head back to away and like you hear him running off. But as you do so, we're gonna jump over to Azurus as you kind of, I imagine, step out to watch the show as well, Dutes, after kind of hiding this away.
Yeah.
Azurus, the trolls begin to line up the kobolds, waking them up one by one. It takes a minute, but they seem to kind of come to after a little slapping and such. The larger kobold, the 9-foot tall, bright orange scaled one, seems to look about as he sits there and goes, "Well, it seems we've lost this day. Are you gonna toss us overboard? Eat us?"
What do you wish for?
It kind of takes a second,
I
pauses.
crouch in front of him.
You don't have to crouch much given your height.
I assume they're on their knees or something, you know.
Yeah, but he is. These creatures are long-necked.
Okay.
I don't know. Like I said, they literally look like the Chinese dragons. They're just long bodies, basically. Thank you, dudes. As he looks at you and the kobold looks at you and goes, "You're gonna have to explain what you mean. I don't. What I wish? I mean, I wish to be free and not be eaten."
From life. What do you want? Oh, what do you want from life? There are so many things to do, so many things to experience. What do you wish for? Being a slave to the Thrycreen or whatever? Is that what you wanted? What do you wish for?
Sir, I was a slave not 6 months ago. If I'm going to be fully honest with you, I have experienced more of life in these last few months than I have ever. I don't know what kind of weird, twisted, fiendish thing you are, but I have no interest in being a slave again.
I do not deal in that kind of slavery. I deal in service. You give me years of your time, and I give you what you wish for. It's a transaction of time.
He just kind of stares at you.
So what do you wish for?
Give me a diplomacy check.
Almost a nat 20, but that would be a 25.
He kind of takes a minute and looks at you, and you hear some grumblings amongst the other kobolds, and as he looks about them, kind of looks back towards you and goes, "So you're Captain, you're really bad at this whole convincing us thing, but if I'm gonna be honest, if I'm gonna serve aboard a ship, the right to leave before my life's over is really all I wish for. The ability to, once my service is done, have my freedom."
So you wish for that once I'm through with your services, you get to leave.
It's better than being eaten by Thrycreen. As he nods.
Yes. Do you know what was my main reason for fighting those Thrycreen?
Because you're a fiend and you're serving the fiend crown?
No, I care not for the fiends. I'm a man of my own ambition. I hail or serve any crown. I am my own man. I point over my ship, and that is my nation. The Red Lady and all denizens, well, they're quite fine, aren't they? Aren't you, men?
You see the trolls all look about, kind of with a confused look at
I say aye.
It seems to understand. You hear that from inside the captain's cabin.
Alright, man, we're gonna have to practice on that. You're supposed to cheer, because we're having a good time on board.
The trolls seemingly kind of nod and then suddenly cheer.
That's
Moments past, you ruined
moments
it.
past. You ruined it. I want to make a nation of people who do what they wish without fear of a hammer from a crown. Doing what they wish vicariously, only coming together in times of great peril to unite against a cause bigger than anyone else. Do you have the respect of this crew? To be honest, after I say that, I'll look at the crew.
The crew's eyes. Give me a sense motive. Wara, it's about this point that you feel your strength kind of coming back to you.
I start to sit up and look
23
about.
23 sense motive.
Okay. Good, Wara.
And I start getting ready to stand up.
Okay. Alright, we'll come back to you in a moment then. As you say that, or as you look about their faces, Zurus, you see for a moment a bit of hesitation. All their eyes seem to lock onto the one dead pile of mostly bloody mess that Wara turned the kobold that is in the center of the ship into. Including the kobold that seems to be the unofficial leader of this group, as he looks back at you and locks eyes and goes, "Well, that was our oldest brother and our leader. As far as the respect of the crew, I'm the youngest of the lot. I doubt most of my brothers and sisters here would listen to me, as they seem to laugh at that."
Well, then which of you will be fit to lead their own crew?
The rest of they kind of all look at you blankly, and then look back at the messed up body in the center of the ship.
I probably come out at this point. My fucking cure, my repair damage, literally act speed rather than that speed.
Doctor?
That's the scary thing about artificers. It's just like, this ship regains 35 HP. That cost me 4 actions.
Yeah,
The ship fully repairs.
as you come walking out and see the this situation, as Zurus looks amongst the this grouping.
So, anyone gonna give me an answer? Who among you, the living, is willing to lead a crew?
They can look amongst themselves, kind of grumbling, and they all just kind of look at you, waiting.
Any of you willing to be a mate? Stay.
They all look over towards Vicaret and again stare blankly.
If you don't give me an answer, I will feed you to my squid.
I look to the captain and I say, Captain,
Yes.
I think these ones have been used to being drones for a very long time. I have some expertise in that kind of deprogramming. They are not used to thinking for themselves. It'll take time.
So, 6 months you said you were slaves.
The largest of the kobold kind of nods.
And it took that long for you to break.
He raises an eyebrow at that.
Are you not independent persons? Are you not capable of giving me an answer? I wish for someone to lead a crew to sail alongside me! Are none of you willing to take up a role of leadership and a piece of the prize?
They kind of look amongst each other once more. The largest of the lot again speaks and goes, "Nothing personal to you, but we've been slaves our entire lives, and being put in charge of something just means you're the first one to get blamed and killed. Even what you just did to our captain and this crew, how do we not expect the same treatment as soon as you lose?"
I look to Azurus and say, how about I lead this crew temporarily until they get their feet. I have leadership feet, so.
I mean, so do I.
It's the problem.
Yeah, I know. I'm just like, we're spreading the cohorts between us, so.
It's the problem of getting the spine in a bunch of creatures that have never had it.
Exactly. The problem is that I want to fully stack up my crew, so by losing 3, I don't have a ship that can't operate by itself.
Yeah.
That's the only issue.
I mean, I'm gonna be on your ship, so like, my thought process is we're gonna tow the 2 other ships, sell them at the first port we come into contact with, and then the kobolds are just gonna be on our ship. And like, I'm not saying I'm taking all of the kobolds. I'm saying I'm just gonna like because in my mind, when 2 people in the party have leadership, it's the party's minion.
I don't think that's the issue he's thinking about.
No, you see, I'm worried. We're all very different creatures with very different goals. I'm not going to want split leadership on my ship amongst my crew.
Yeah.
That's my issue. If you want to do something and I don't, or vice versa, and you order half the crew not to do it because they follow you, it's going to be a problem. Alright.
Meanwhile, Wara has become the captain of his own ship.
Yeah, right?
And I yell over, Captain Azurus, I, Captain Wara, have a ship to sell you. What say you?
Azurus, out of this entire serious moment of you just trying to get these great people to have a backbone to like fight for themselves, you hear this in the distance coming from the back of the ship on the other one.
Captain Wara, are you capable of sailing a sizable vessel by your lonesome?
That's why I said I have a ship to sell you.
So, your crew. I turn around and I just look at the kobolds again.
Yeah.
I look to the large one. You seem the most competent, the most
Oh.
willful.
I'm the only one who knows common.
Fine, which language would you like to speak in? What do they speak?
Draconic mostly.
Do you want Aquan?
Don't know it.
Water dragons don't know Aquan.
Kind of looks at you and goes, "What's a water dragon?"
Kind of look to the captain again one last time.
Don't.
Honestly, they see the captain's ship as a sacrificial pawn, or the position of sacrificial pawn. Just nominate one of them. Let them just point one out that they think should be the sacrificial pawn, and then hope it works out. They're drones. They don't understand free will yet.
What were you carrying aboard this ship?
He looks at you and goes, "Well, when we first got caught, we had a giant that ran the ship. He was the first owner. Him and a crew of trolls that were aboard. Down beneath are now bones, maybe. A lot of eggs of these green carapace-like creations. They look like eggs, I'd assume. A lot of those down there.
I can do things.
Check out the newly arisen ship for me.
Alright. Yeah.
As you see,
Right over there.
as you climb up to where on top of the where the helm is, above the captain's quarters of the current ship, you see as you look back, almost with its bow touching the back of the ship, you can see Wara just kind of standing on the ship, looking back at you lot. I assume kind of waiting for Azurus' response. As you think you're gonna be able to jump over pretty easily, or even climb down to it if you'd like.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my time with it.
Okay.
Just gonna take 10 on it.
Okay. Yeah, as you slowly find your way down, going over to the other ship with Wara as you walk over there, looking about the. Give me a search check to see if you find anything as you start kind of checking out the ship. And are you looking for anything in particular?
Well, the order of operations is I want those eggs.
Okay.
And also anything that, Vikaret, despite being an artificer and understanding the value of coin, Vikaret's mind is utilitarian, so I'm looking for useful things before valuable things.
Okay.
That's generally how I operate.
As
Okay.
Bickaret climbs onto my ship, I go, "And what are you doing on my ship, Bickaret?"
Following the captain's orders to Tori.
The captain's orders from his ship, not my ship. So what are you doing here?
Wara! That ship is a prize of my vessel. You are not a captain of that ship. I am sorry to say.
Dang it! All I wanted was 5 gold for the ship.
You also, already signed a contract, so any spoils that you take have to be inventoried.
I start going down to the hold of the ship.
Okay.
I'm gonna search the captain's quarters first, then go to the hold.
Okay. Alright. Let me look up. something. There we go. Okay. As with an 18, as you head below, Vicaret, looking about, you do find a small, what looks to be a small, like egg sack. That as you look in the cargo bay, looks to have about 7 or 8 Thrycreen eggs. No queens amongst them. They all look to be of some sort of warrior or scout like appearance. Each of them, does it take you long to realize, are seem to each have some sort of strange mutation about their antennae that clips or that marks them as individual thinkers, meaning they are not tied to the hive. Which would make them very valuable, because these Thrycreen are typically used to go and check the deep levels of the Underdark by the hive, as they're able to think of their own free will.
Yeah, I'm gonna. But they're babies.
You do also find about 700 gold pieces worth of lumber, about 300 pounds of mixed bronze, copper, and tin, and some other general supplies. Yes, I will list it out.
Okay. I'm gonna take those eggs. I'm also gonna experiment on them to begin my wasp people nonsense.
Yep. Give me a second. 400 LBS of bronze. And it was how much? Oh, good. Okay.
You can start turning those bronze into bronze cannons. That would be nice.
I was
Curious.
wrong on the
I smelled food.
Common wood. There you go. Alright, as you look about down there, as well as general ship stuff, rations, stuff like that, that will be more of like what you'd find amongst a normal crew. I'll list that afterwards, but those are the main things that catch your attention. As you go about looking around, why are you staying above deck, or are you following after?
No, I'm going to the captain's room,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to search that, and then I'll go down to the hold.
As you look about, give me a search check as well, Wara. All right. Give me a second. All right. As you look around the captain's quarters, you find a couple of books amongst them that catch your attention to note for later. I'll send those to you afterwards for the titles and everything. But as you look about the materials and such, you do notice a set of leather armor that seems to be in the corner of the room that looks to be quite well designed. It looks to be a masterwork material. You do see a smith's name or brand marked on it that you'd recognize as a Fire Giant brand, meaning that this armor most likely comes from the Fire Giant clans. It is medium in size as you look it over, and looks to have some sort of strange runes across it, though you're unsure what it does. The only other thing in the room that catches your attention is there is a bottle, or a ship in a bottle, that looks to be like you've seen like the traditional like people who do model ships in bottles, I assume. But this one doesn't seem to have like any water effect at the bottom of it. It looks to actually, the little ship looks to be slightly floating, and has not a normal like what you'd expect of like an alcoholic cork on the bottle, which looks to be just like a carboy in size. But the cork, as you notice, does have runes on it of permanence that you recognize the spell of almost immediately for the design of them. There is something else written in the runes, though, that you do not recognize without a spellcraft check.
Okay, no money or weapons.
No coin, no weapons hanging on the walls. There's a mounted beast's head on the wall of what looks to be like a large white furred lion. Its eyes are a little like almost a bright blue, and the creature looks to be like as if it's roaring, but it's just a mounted head. All
Would
the
I
rest.
recognize that head?
Give me a knowledge nature or survival.
This one is survival, and I'm also gonna do nature.
25. Okay, well, I don't know if you need to. But I'll take a knowledge nature as well. Alright. As you take a moment looking at the creature, this looks to be an Arctic mane. You recognize them as creatures, or as giant lion-like creatures that typically hang around the frost giant territories of Regan Utham's lands. In much of his continent, they are known to be able to breathe out like dragon breath like weapons. However, theirs typically comes out in a frost like mist and typically are not considered as dangerous. These creatures are known to grow in size and vary in intelligence, which is what makes them dangerous, is that you never know what you're dealing with when you run into a pact. A large Arctic mane could be dumb, it could be intelligent, it could be cunning, or it could be extremely timid. The creatures being varying so much makes them hard to hunt and have been a pretty big bane to Regan Utham's lands. Recent stories you recall is one that was smart enough to have figured out a ritual to turn itself into, supposedly, as the rumors go, a creature that would be ranked amongst the apex monsters of the world. Though this was a rumor and most people don't believe it, the little bit of paperwork you've seen amongst Regan Utham's publicized information at Velkomen, you would know for a fact, Wara, that this is actually a true case. These creatures are smart enough to learn and use magic quite well. As you look at this one, you'd guesstimate its age probably to be in the younger category, probably no more than 5-6 years old. It's not large by any means for its species, and you'd guess it to probably be a youthful male that was off on its own when it got caught. Looking at the little bit of damage that it took, this creature probably didn't have much of a chance for a fight.
I take the mounted head off the wall.
Mm-hmm.
I go outside and I toss it overboard. Rest in peace, brother.
Okay. As you toss it overboard, saying a little prayer, we're going to jump back over to Azurus. Doots, Azurus out of the corner of your eye does seem to kind of disappear down below, checking down in the deck, or in the cargo bay.
Alright. So, none of you wish to lead the crew of this vessel. It's fine. Is there any way I can assure you that I do not intend on using you as cannon fodder?
You see for a second, the largest one speaks again. I assume you're speaking in common.
Yeah.
Okay. He kind of looks at you for a moment and goes, "If it means we'll live, I'll lead, but again, I hope you understand that this isn't anything personal. We haven't known a world other than of the few freedoms we've had under this situation. This is paradise compared to where we came from."
I mean, I'll still be telling you what to do if that gives you any kind of consolation. It will still all be on me.
He seems to nod at that and goes, "It helps, because I don't know how to actually pilot a ship."
Well, I hope the rest of your crew, I assume you've been working the sails.
They know how to take orders to pull the sails down. As he just kind of blinks at you and stares.
So,
there's just 11 of you.
Yes, we were a well, no, there wasn't originally, but yes, we were supposed to be a bait ship to lure people in for the Cesperos to capture, bring on, bring below, and then eat.
Royce, I know it's like for my 3-masted ship. I know I need at least 15 men to, at the bare minimum, to crew it with a skeleton crew. With this similar sized ship at 1 mast, how many at the bare minimum are needed to sail this vessel?
It is a sloop, so it is technically only a 10-man, unless it has to be rowed, which you do see. It does have rowing ports, which as you count per side, there's about 10 ports. If they were going to row, there's no way they'd make it. They don't have enough crew. But if by wind alone, they theoretically should be able to make it tonight.
Well, I mean, if they needed a row, they wouldn't really need to work the sails.
It's also true, but I'm saying they don't have enough people to work the rows, the oars.
Yeah, because they would need, if it's 10 ports, it'd be 20 souls needed to row. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Alright.
They could do it with 10, but it'd be at half speed.
Yeah, they'd be at half. To be fair, I'm hoping they will just keep using sails. I go up to one of my trolls, one of my crew, and be like, which two of ye are the, would you consider to be the finest sailors of the bunch? I'm giving you an opportunity to come aboard this vessel and teach these fellas how to operate by themselves and make true sailors out of them.
You're saying this to your crew?
Yes.
As you say this, you see Crump kind of climb on top of one of the trolls as he's about to raise his hand and, like, shoves his hand down violently as he goes, no, no, no. And looks up and goes, meh. And he waves his hand up and down.
Crump, you're my first mate. I need you with me on board.
But I've got the greatest sailing experience. I'm the best sailor here. The greatest of hands, the biggest of hands.
That's why I need you aboard my ship.
Fine.
You're great. You're so great, I can't afford to give you away.
It's true. You'd be dead without me. I understand. Well, yeah, the one that I'm standing on, as he points down, is the only one that's decent amongst them. The rest of them couldn't sail their way out of a paper bag. As he climbs down off the troll, who kind of like steps forward, he looks at you and goes, "Name's Sai." As he kind of like bends forward, he looks to be a full feral, like a normal feral troll, green skin, long ratty hair, big nose, big belly. Doesn't look to be anything impressive as he kind of steps up compared to the rest. You'd just as soon probably mix him up with any of the others.
Mm-hmm. How about this? I turn back to the kobold. You don't want to lead. How about then you take up the position of this ship's quartermaster? You'll be the voice of your crew. I assume they'd feel far more comfortable talking to you to then voice their words. And this member of my crew here will be the official captain of this vessel. Would that make things easier on you and your folk?
I mean, can he speak Draconic? The troll, like, shakes his head no at you immediately.
Well, I assume you can. Just relay his orders.
You want me to take a crew that doesn't speak the language of their captain and expect to reissue every order he gives in the middle of a crisis when, the split second can be the difference between life and death?
We have a long voyage. I am certain that you could teach him Draconic, or you the language of the trolls.
I can't speak guttural speech, and no offense to your crew, but they look about as bright as a... Well, to be honest, I don't think there's anything that dull.
My men are fine sailors, at least. Do you think your men can learn by observing?
He nods.
Fine. Okay. You'll be the captain. The proverbial captain of this vessel. And he will work aboard as a teacher. He will show your crew every aspect of sailing a vessel, what needs to be done, and how to do it. And hopefully, they won't need to be ordered to stop water from leaking in. I want to make sure your crew is able to be autonomous. Something that goes wrong, they can do it without being told they need to do it. Do you think this is possible?
Oh, I have one question.
And that would be?
What's proverbial mean? As he looks at you with a completely straight, blank face.
On paper, you're the captain of this vessel, you are the leader. But in truth, no, it is I.
He just kind of looks at you and goes, yes, you're the leader. We know that. So what's proverbial mean?
Anyway, no worries. As long
You see
as
his
you're
crew whispering amongst themselves. Good.
As long as you are capable of leading your men and making sure that they do what they need to do, that is all I wish. But we are going to need to shake on it.
He nods and puts out his reaches out his tied hands.
Mm-hmm. And of course, the whole, pact-making genie, blah 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 handshake goes through. I'll do this, have him explain to the rest of the crew and shake hands and blah 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 blah.
You do notice as you shake hands. Do you speak Draconic?
I speak Auran, Celestial, Common, Ignan, Druidic, and Aquan, but no, I do not speak Draconic.
As you read on the contracts with each of these crew members, some of them sign for stuff like immortality, the wish of riches beyond my dreams. Two of them wish for things that catch your attention. One asks for a cake that has never been made, and the other just asks for a block of cheese.
Chigora?
Huh.
Kobold slaves, ladies and kobold slaves.
But as you,
I kind of see these, and I'm just like, I don't normally feel like, it's not even sadness. I kind of just, it's pity.
Also,
like, man.
As they look at you with complete and calm understanding. Yeah. As you go about this. We're going to jump back to you in a moment real quick. Jumping down really quickly as Azurus goes down one after another. Okay, stopped and pauses and just stares at the last two contracts as he reads through them. Just trying to see if there's, some misreading about this, cheese, or the cake. There's got to be some, internal meaning, looking anywhere in it, thinking they're, some mastermind as he begins working on it. But as we jump over real quick, dudes... As you find yourself down below looking at the bars of iron, as you roll, you realize that... what are you trying to learn as far as the history of this person? What's the goal? What kind of history are you trying to learn?
How does this person typically conduct themselves? Are they someone that you really shouldn't cross, or is this someone that, happens to be more on the kinder side?
So typically, from what you'd know, with a role like that, is that they are most notably known for already having absorbed another nation and for joining a proxy war from an insult. Few nations have managed to bother with them, and there are also similar rumors that they may have managed to take control of Greg's Maritom's lands already. With others believing that they may have spy networks pretty much everywhere. Some even blame the same ruler for Yaki Roxer's death, believing that they're the ones who actually conducted and planned it out. For those players who do not know who Yaki Roxer is, he was one of the Dragon Lords, an astral dragon. But as you kind of think about that for a second, you'd estimate that she is probably one of the few people that actually is capable of finding out information about anyone, and is probably a lot more dangerous to cross. Don't free yet, he's dead.
Free
And,
day.
and he's being used like a garden hoe.
Okay. Thank you for that information. I will PM you what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, you don't know about the garden hoe thing. That's another character thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you kind of go about looking down below, you do still see the mini bones. I will mention when I say humanoid, you do take a note that these are troll. These look to be some may potentially a Goliath. There are giant bones in here of all different shapes and sizes. Looks like the Thrycreen have been eaten well for a good while. As you look about, but no worries. Yeah, as you take your moment, we're gonna jump back over to Vicaret and Wara. As the two of you find yourselves down below deck on the other ship, Vicaret looking at the eggs, kind of, I imagine contemplating what to do with them. Wara, you come down now, joining afterwards. Assuming you left the little ship in a bottle and the leather armor up in the captain's quarters. Oh, Wara, you might be on mute.
Oh, no, I'm here.
Okay.
Sorry, you were asking me about the captain's quarters.
Yeah, if you were going to
so-
leave the bottled ship and the leather armor up there, or if you were going to take them with you when you were heading down below to check out the cargo bay after the captain's quarters.
So the leather armor, and the bottle, I'm gonna put on. There's a desk in there, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put them on the desk, to make it visible, and then I'm gonna go down with Vicaret, and then I'm gonna find Vicaret and say, I found some things in the captain's room I would like you to inspect, but I would like to claim them as mine.
As you see Vicaret just kind of holding like this big clutch of that's kind of like a green, slightly translucent carapace kind of over it, and you can see like a couple of things wiggling inside of it.
I'm gonna attach the clutch of eggs onto my back.
Okay.
You know, like a good horrible bug mom. Oh wait, I'm a centaur thing. I can put it on my other back.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got your
I'm
legs
gonna-
they can ride comfortably.
Yeah, and I'm gonna start just using my telepathy to communicate with them. I know that they probably can't understand me at all, like very much, but let's start young.
Yep. As you start kind of trying to familiarize them with your voice, as you kind of walk over to Wara, as Wara says this.
Yeah. All right. Away.
So I lead Vicaret back to the captain's office and show the leather armor and the boat in a bottle.
Vicaret, as you see both of these items, I assume you're gonna try and check them for magic almost immediately.
Yeah, check them for magic and appraise them after I see if they're magical.
Okay. Give me a spellcraft, or if you're just going to identify them, let me know if you're using that as a ritual. Because I think ritual is like 10 minutes.
Let me check my artificer stuff because I have very slightly different rules for that.
Mm-hmm.
Do.
Give it a minute to check.
Table item.
I love that we have the greatest Harambe design now for this. Oh. Never forget. I'll say, while you're looking over that, because I know your thing allows you to check for the bottle.
Also, you're going to give me the titles of all the books, right?
Yes, I am going. Oh, yeah, I guess I can do that for you or pull up my notes for that right now.
Okay, yeah, I have to. It looks like I do have to use one of my fusions to do it, or cast it as a ritual.
Okay.
Which takes an hour, sadly.
Alright.
But I'm gonna just do the spellcraft real fast.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Go ahead and roll for both of them. Um,
31 and 34.
oh gods. Alright.
Actually, specifically for. Hold on, let me check something.
Take your time.
It might be higher.
I was gonna say 31 on the armor, 34 on the bottle.
Yeah. Craft wonders. Yeah, it's both of those are two higher, so it's 33 and 36.
Alright. So the first thing you find on the armorer is that it is +1 masterwork armor. It is cursed. As you realize, it seems to have a curse of let me find my note. Arrow traction. Meaning that arrows are naturally attracted towards you, meaning they get a +1 to when people try to shoot arrows at you while wearing this armor. However, the enchantment on it, if the once the curse is broken, from what you can tell, would be arrow catching. And if you're not familiar, which I assume you are, but for those who are not, arrow catching is it usually is put on a shield, but it basically acts as a deflection bonus of +1 against ranged weapons that are projectiles and thrown weapons. And they do tend to veer towards you, which means that as far as that goes, you can take hits for your teammates on that.
I was thinking of like just leaving the curse on there and then giving him the arrow snatching thing, where he reduces the damage of ranged attacks against him, and if he fully reduces it, he can fucking send it back. So I think that'd be a funny fucking thing to give Wara.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to, that's on you as far as it goes.
What's the AC on this armor?
It is +1 leather armor. And there are the books. Oh, not book. There. Let me fix my numbering. There you go. So for your own notes. As you, and then for the bottle, as you look at the ship in the bottle, you realize the item is, called, it's just called a bottled airship, is the only name that you're able to gather from it. The magic on it seems to be a permanency spell, and seems to be enchanted as well as transmutation for schools. You don't recognize any of the other spells with the rolls that you got. Lastly, you do note the item has a caster level of 48.
Whoa. Okay, yeah. I'll look to Wara and say, this armor pulls arrows towards you. And I can better. I nod to myself. And I point to the bottle and I say, has a bunch of magic on it. I need to study it first. And then I'll praise both of them to see how much they're worth.
Okay.
Just in case Wara wants that in.
Okay. I'm gonna ask if he can, Vicaret, can you break the curse on the armor?
Wow. To be honest with you, I have no idea what these things are worth.
No,
Okay,
I'm giving you something. Don't worry.
Yeah. Can you break the curse on the armor?
I look at the arm. Do you want? I could also make fun of it.
You're breaking up. You can also make what?
I can also make it fun with it. Like it pulls the. I was thinking I was going to make it to where the arm still pulls the arrows to you. But they don't hurt you, and you get to every so often send them to the person at you. That way, everyone who stands around you is resistant doesn't get shot with arrows, and you get to kill the people who are using ranged weapons. I nod, as if this is fucking brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
My fucking antenna going crazy.
Yep.
Um,
Wara, roughly what you gather is Vikarat's going to basically turn the arm, or make it so that all arrows going towards your teammates will also come towards you still, which is basically what the item already does.
well, I
But
look
also-
at the armor and go, this isn't as good as what I'm currently wearing, though.
Oh, yeah, I can also make it like. I look at the armor that you're currently. Do the armor that you're currently wearing to work?
My current armor is a +7.
Like an enhancement bonus?
I'm wearing Lamellar +2.
Lamellar.
He's got +2 Lamellar. Yeah, it's
Lamellar's a +5. Yeah. Yeah, Lamellar's a +5, and then it has a +2 spellcast on it.
Oh, okay.
Could you
That's right.
change the size of this armor so it can fit a cat person?
You look over Vikaret, and now you kind of see a mix of like troll and like cat as you look at Wara.
Yeah. I mean, as I look at the armor, it's magical. Whoever puts this on is going to fit them. That's just how most magic items work.
Okay, the first mate might need some new armor then.
I look at the.
As Warren mentions that the only first mate you can think of that's been mentioned on the ship so far was Crump.
I think about that for a second, as if like there's this moment where Vikaret's plan prevents her from realizing what you're saying, but like it comes quickly. Like I look at you like, why would you want to give him anything? And then for a moment I pause and then, oh, I get it now. Yes, he could use more armor.
Okay, and should we give the bottle to the captain then?
It should be added the shares. I nod.
Okay. All right, I take the 4 books and leave the armor and the bottle on the desk.
Okay. Kind of making sure they're not going to move or sway off the desk, I assume. But yep. All right. As you two head out of the captain's quarters and start, I assume, heading back towards the other two the ships. I will say at this point you do notice that the trolls on the half the trolls that were left on the main ship. What was it again? Azurus, what's your ship's name? Red something.
The Red Lady.
The Red Lady, yeah. Have taken a second plank and like set it up to hold on to the two to keep the ships kind of still next to each other as much as possible.
Good men.
Yeah, it's not.
Oh yeah, DM. What's the name of the ship that I'm on right now?
As you lean over the side of the ship, you read Clack's Heart. And as you look over to the other ship that your captain's currently standing on, you do see on the back of the ship. Yeah, Clack is spelled for reference like the world leader. So it'd be in total, just for your own note. And the other one reads the Single Blade.
Just so we're all clear, it is considered extremely bad luck to change the name of a ship.
Oh yeah, trust me.
Even though, as you both look, thank you. I see you guys appreciate the names for these ships that I've worked hard on. I very much appreciate that.
All right. So here's the deal. Dragging a ship is gonna really slow us down. We had about a year's journey from where we came from to where we're going, with the wind at our backs, full and free. dragging another ship behind us, it's going to slow us down quite a bit. So what I'm thinking is we do what we can to scrap whatever we can from what was it? Not Croquex,
Quack.
Clack's
Black's
heart.
heart.
You know, we scrap what we can, keep it to make future repairs, and then either let it float adrift or sink it. Because we don't have the crew to do all ships, nor did I wish for us to slow down. Maneuverability is our goal. We don't have the luxury of being a heavily armored, fat, slow war galleon.
I have good news. Out of character.
What's up?
The speed reduction in towing is not. It wouldn't halve our speed. It would reduce it by approximately not or one, depending on size different ships,
Well-
and that's assuming that the other two vessels are dead, as in cannot like move on their own.
Yeah, but what he's referring to is the issue of towing a ship is dangerous because when they're all reliant on air or on the wind or the oars, they can crash into each other and you get ships cracking each other doing that. And if you crack a mast or something like that, your ship's fucked, basically. Also, towing is very tough because if the waves get choppy, your ship can easily get tipped because of the weight distribution. If the other ship gets pulled under, your ship is more than likely to go under. It's kind of the same reason why whalers back in the day would cut the lines when the whale would dive, because legitimately your ship would get pulled under with the whale.
Okay.
So that's more what he's referencing. You are right. Yeah, it's not the speed that's going to come down to the issue. It is just more of the trouble of trying to get the vessel with you guys moving, and not have to worry about these storms and other trouble. So, because Naval Code has a lot about that.
Yeah, take the ship
Yeah.
for all it's worth and sink the rest. It is a shame that we won't be able to sell it, but such is life. Take anything that's not nailed down and send it to the locker.
The crew nods and goes. You see the larger the kobold kind of stand up, and he kind of looks at you and goes, we don't have much of names, so I do apologize. We were never given it as slaves, and our clan we were never told what our clan was. But I should mention between the two ships, the one over there can go underwater. It has an enchant designed to let it go beneath the water specifically when it's so it can travel faster. I don't know if it's worth anything to you, given the fact that you mentioned your own ship was capable, but I figured if that was something of value to you.
I put my hand on this man and I smile at him and say, "Thank you so much for that information, because now it is this ship that we are setting on that we will take for all that it's worth."
He
Send it
nods.
to the locker.
He goes, "That'd be great. This was a bait slaver ship."
Thank you. And about names. A name... I know upon birth people are usually given it, but you're grown. I think it is best for you and your lot to pick names for yourself.
Kind of
Something that you'd like.
looks around for a moment. You see him look out the water, looks back at the rest of the kobolds, and then looks at you. And then as you see him kind of contemplate, and there's a light that goes on just a little too quickly as you hear him go, "Wave scales."
Well met, Wave Scales. Or, well, I guess in this case, nice to meet you, Captain Wave Scales
Kind
of Clack's Heart.
He bows to you on that and nods, and you see a bit of a smile on his face. The other koboldkin seem to start cheering a little bit and clapping to it, not really seemingly understanding what they're doing, as they all look kind of confused between each other as they do this.
Yeah, guys.
Like two proud parents who can't speak the language but know you're graduating. They're proud as they see you walk up.
All right, men.
so-
Let's get all the loot on this ship moved over to Clack's Heart.
And then sink the single blade.
Yep. You watch as the kobolds begin to and the trolls begin to go below. And as soon as a few of them step below, with dudes kind of stepping past them and coming above deck, you see them take a couple of the trolls take a couple steps back up the stairs. One of them looks over at you and goes, "Captain, there's a lot of bones."
Of what?
He looks at dudes, having seen him walk up from the stairs out of the to below deck.
Dudes, what was in the hold?
Give me 1 second to scroll to it. Just a bunch of lumber, some metal bars, marked by, and I'm gonna need you to pronounce this for me.
Ja Terracitus. Ja is a title.
Ja Terracitus.
Yep.
A few empty medium, medium and huge sized cages, as well as I'd guess around 400, maybe 5 pounds of bones from mixed humanoid races.
Caleb, do you have this? Was this list sent to you?
This was.
Would you mind either just sending it to the monster chat or to me?
Yeah.
Thank you. Vic, do you have use for bones of various races?
I can make like a fucking tent out of it, actually. Yeah, I relay this. I say, make it to like paste and cement, but not really, not beyond them. We don't use cement for. I could use the wood in the middle from the ship.
I mean, like bone. Arrow tips, fishing hooks. We can always use them to craft into simple things that we might not want to waste the metal for. Or we give all these poor souls a burial at sea.
Karma would look better upon us if we gave them a burial at sea. Rather not be haunted.
We could always adorn the ships in the bones. Maybe add a little fear factor. Might
Up to you, Captain. I will say, though, if the ship stops being a ship and starts being an undead, I can't fix it.
God damn it, Maker.
You think putting a few bones nailed into wood is going to make the ship undead?
I think that if we fight a necromancer and he drops an anime dead on our ship, we're going to have a problem.
Yeah, you will.
Then we'll just take the skulls?
Alright, sure.
Good. Okay. Great. Alright. We're taking the skulls.
Azur's just kind of turns, there's just a look in his eyes of, like, confusion from the conversation and all, like, contemplation of, like, there's a moment of trying to figure out, is this right? Can they still use these to go fuck with my ship? Will it really annoy me, and will they just start talking to me randomly? Oh, everything kind of starts rushing through Azur's head as he says this out loud.
We're taking the skulls!
Oh.
We will adorn our vessels with them! Make the enemies fear us!
The trolls cheer after a moment of hesitation as one kind of raises his hand at that.
Yeah! Thank you!
They start to grab and unload and move the materials from the from the Clack's Heart over to the single blade.
Oh, well, the other way around.
Oh, sorry, the single blade over to Clack's Heart. Yes, you are correct.
Mhm.
And all right, as they're gonna work on that it'll take roughly about an hour to move that many materials. When I assume Wara, being as you climb back over onto the main ship with Azurus, Dudes, bless you, Vicaret, and basically those few crew members who aren't really involved in lifting, like the cook and the quartermaster down below, heading down below. You lot all kind of come together on the back onto the main deck. Wara, you said you left the only thing you're taking was the mounted head and the books, right?
The mounted head was tossed into the ocean.
Okay. All right. Okay.
The books are on me,
Okay.
and I'm gonna tell the captain about the ship in a bottle, and I'm gonna tell the first mate about a piece of armor that he might like.
Yeah.
Ship in a bottle.
Yeah. Crumple rejoin as he hears about the armor from you. Kind of smiles and looks at you and goes, "Oh, I know I'm the greatest first mate that you could ask for. I truly appreciate that you appreciate me, Wara. You have no idea how much confidence that gives me that you have confidence in my great confidence."
I'll ask one of the crew members to bring the ship in a bottle and the armor piece to me.
Okay.
All right. All right, Crump. This is the. I guess this is yours. Do what you will with it.
I relay the cost of both because it needs to be calculated for share.
Yes.
Out
Royce put it in the chat, right?
What?
The prices
Yeah.
of both items.
I did. Yeah, 2K for the armor is roughly what you get, and 500K is GP is what you get for the bottle or the ship in a bottle. He does not have identify. No, shit, I can't be that right. Yeah, his spellcraft is a -10. He's just gonna. He looks at the armor and looks up at Wara again and goes, Wara, you can see the gleam of pride in his face, and you know there's not a moment of hesitation that you know that pride's in himself and not in you. As he looks and starts to put it on without hesitation, he seems to be giddy as he tries out his new armor and kind of like flexes it about as he puts it on. It shrinks down to his size as he does so, and kind of smiles up and goes, "You know, this armor fits me quite well. I think I might add this to my book when it comes to the art of the deal. I told you, Captain, you always treat your crew members with disrespect and be rude to them, and they always pay you off." As he pats Wara on the back of the calf.
You're welcome. I'm glad you enjoy the armor.
I'm gonna make sure to credit you in my book, I promise you. No gold, of course. You won't get any cuts of the profits, but you'll be written about, and they'll know all about you. As he kind of turns back and starts heading down below deck, you see him already pulling out a little journal and writing notes into it. You lot are all kind of left now as the crew goes about their business on top of the deck. As you look at the bottle. Mm-hmm.
I sit there looking at this bottle. I'm like, well, should we sell it? I mean, I would love to have an airship, but I'd find it hard pressed to be able to use this and pay out the rest of the crew.
Hold it for future investments, Captain.
It will be a long time before we sell that. I don't think that there are very many entities currently on this realm who could afford that much gold.
Reasonable. Excellent. Can I tell just by being well known in just ships in general, even if it's not exactly like airships, but just like the ship craftsmanship in itself? Can I tell that it's a very good craftsmanship?
Give me a profession sailor and an appraise check.
Alright. Okay, profession sailor lad.
I should add that cost, I believe, is the cost for the ship without me knowing exactly what it can do. So with a price So,
That is a dirty 20 profession sailor, and as for the appraise, that's a 4.
You're not sure about the craftsmanship. It's well designed. I mean, it's beautifully designed. But I mean, most airships in a bottle are very great pieces. I mean, it takes a lot of patience, a lot of slow, methodical. Methodical. That's not a word.
methodical.
Methodical. Thank you. Maniacal. That's a new one for me. Methodical movement, and as you put everything together. This, as you look about, I mean, it could be as worthwhile as a bigger version or a smaller version. You're unsure, but as you look at the side of the ship, you read the words "the Meadmancer" kind of painted onto it as the name of the ship. And as you think for a moment, that name rings no bells, even with that high of a sailor roll.
Gotcha. Well, I guess I'll just put it on display on my shelves until we find something to use it for.
Lock it
Thank
up.
you for. Okay.
Lock it up.
Sure.
I will say, as Dukes mentions this, the only thing you notice as you look over towards him, Azurus, as he brings this up, is he seems to kind of close his cloak up, with a little bit of the wind picking up as he does so, as he mentions this, but he is a full, I imagine, dead serious face, or appearance on his face.
Okay. I'll put it in my safe.
And whatever you
with-
do, don't open it.
I know what a magical ship in a bottle does.
No, I'm not worried about that. I'm worried on what's within the ship.
Okay. You're the magic man. Certainly. I will put it away. Make sure that none get their hands on it. But so as far as from all the loot that we have, a lot of it's more of like raw materials, no like goods, really.
Yeah, correct. It looks to be all raw materials overall.
You did say that there were some supplies for
Yeah,
Well,
eating,
general
drinking on.
general sailor
Yeah.
supplies. So like you'll find barrels of distilled, like a distilled beer that's like been definitely aged to a whiskey at this point, for the traveling purposes. Rations enough to keep the ship going for a decent, or about what you can tell is about a 3-month voyage for a crew of 35. And what from beyond that, it looks to be pretty much like a normal stock ship. A bunch of beds set to the side, a couple of rooms set on the lower deck, and then a small section that looks to have been had wood put into to section off as a cargo bay in air quotes. You roughly would guess it'd be able to hold about 10 tons of cargo on it.
Gotcha. And there's no like weapons like ballistas on either of these prize ships.
No, not at all.
Okay.
They are completely defenseless as you look about them.
All right. That's fine.
I will mention for your own note, because of the profession sailor check, I'll just give you this one. They are tougher ships, as you can tell. The wood seems to be a lot better quality. They look to be designed at the front end of it, which I believe is the bow, to have what looks to be almost reinforced wood. It seems to be a lot thicker and heavier, and a lot more solid pieces at the front. As you look at, these ships are probably designed for ramming more than distant combat.
Kind of like how like the Romans would do their stuff. All right, cool.
Which, given the
They're
third
almost trying.
almost.
All right. Okay, I can see how this could work very well.
And I,
Both ships being able to go underwater. Oh, this would be magnificent.
yeah. And I did try to instruct the trolls to get as much of the wood off of the ship that they're sinking, like literally dismantle it to the waterline rather than fucking blow it up and sink the whole damn thing.
Yeah,
So we
as
can
much
still sell the
wood as-
goddamn wood.
Yeah, as much wood as you can take off this, because this is good wood to even reinforce our own ship.
Yeah, and I'm assisting them.
Azurus, as you look over, kind of, as you're kind of holding the bottle in your hand, listening to Vikret as she kind of points to the trolls where to grab the wood and how to do it, and pulling everything off where they can. Suddenly, as you look back down, kind of coming back and looking back over at Dutes, getting ready to kind of respond, and as you finally have realized, or kind of thinking about the conversation, the bottle's not in your hands anymore.
Crump!
Okay.
You hear down below a yes.
You know, stealing from me is a violation of our deal.
But borrowing's not.
Crump.
Quote now.
Coloring with king past.
As Vikrat, you're continuing to work about this. Wara, Azurus, and Dutes kind of heading now towards the stairs to head down below deck. To
Hold
chase after Crump. Wara, what are you doing? Yeah.
I quickly shout, Captain, which ship do you want me to stay on?
Mine.
Wara
Okay.
just looks at the gangplank, I imagine, then just stops before climbing up. And go, all right. Okay, as you head below, Kez and not Kez, goddamn it, Azurus and Dutes, goddamn. I'm not looking at my Discord, so I'm trying to names get mixed up in my head here. As the two of you head down below, you see Crump is trying his best to pull the cork off the bottle with all of it, like he has his teeth wrapped around it and is like trying to yank at it.
So, Crump, you're a trusted first mate. But do you remember the punishment from stealing from the company?
Another 10 years?
No, marooning on the closest island.
I didn't steal it, though. I borrowed as he takes his mouth off of it.
There is no borrowing.
Oh, look.
You took it without me asking.
I did ask. And I'm going to
did.
roll a bluff for that.
Oh, my fucking God.
You wanted this.
Do I see a
Yeah,
quirk
but he's also
laying
not
around?
supposed to act against me as part
He's
of
not.
the deal. Yeah, he's stealing from me!
Go ahead. What'd you say, Wara?
Do I see a cork laying around?
No. The cork is still in the bottle.
No, not that cork.
Oh.
A
No.
cork. Or something small.
Oh, give me a search check. Yeah, borrowing. It's very important, meaning the intention of giving it back in the same, quality that he had taken it in.
I'm looking for just something small, like a fork, a spoon, anything small.
Yeah, on the top deck. I mean, there's not really. There's a couple of knives that would be set aside near the rope. That's kind of.
Oh, no, I went down below.
Oh, you were following down below. Oh yeah. Then amongst the kitchen, yeah, there'd be definitely wooden and stone spoons that you'd be able to grab, as well as a couple metal ones for the captain and the higher rank of the crew.
All right, I grab a wooden spoon.
Huh. Perhaps I did. But I've changed my mind now. Please hand over the ship in a bottle.
It kind of looks at you. I am going to confirm a locked-in action beforehand. As he kind of looks at you and just goes to hand you the bottle. A little, as you look behind him, a little mount that looks like he is designing that has captain's personal ship in a bottle, kind of written out on a piece of wood, and a little stand for the bottle to sit on. As he is getting ready to hand it to you, I want to confirm. He does take penalties. No, I know. I'm counting for that.
Okay.
But since Azurus chose not to roll against it, that's an auto success, so.
Yeah. It's kind of funny to point out, but I think.
Well, I'm confirming
Wara
one action. Go ahead.
I think Wara currently has the best resistance to this guy's bluff checks, just because Wara it has taken hostile action.
Not against him.
He put an armor on him that would kill him, plotting the guy's demise. He is actively an enemy.
If the intention was to kill versus the intention to make sure the rest of you survive over him, there's a very big difference in morality for that. So I would leave Wara to decide on that, because his backstory gives him his own reasons why active hostility may be less of an intention and more of a focus to assist you lot.
Okay.
So I leave that to Wara to decide, not. Alright! Now, I'm going to confirm, dudes, are you only doing this if the cork falls off the bottle, or are you doing this regardless? I'm going to say this out loud now, because this needs to be made clear.
Yes, if that cork comes off that bottle, I'm doing this.
Oh, okay. Alright. As he did not manage to tear off the cork, and kind of like hands it over to Azurus, as Azurus says this, Azurus, you see the little stand behind it that that Crump looks to have been designing for it, for you in the last couple of minutes. But he hands over the bottle willingly and gently.
Sorry, I might have lost my temper there a little bit. Forgive me.
It's okay, Captain. I am the greatest first mate you could ask for, so it's just to be expected.
I know I could always...
What was that, dudes?
Azurus, I need to talk to you in private.
Excuse me, Arcanist dudes. I was conversing with my first mate. Mind you not to interrupt me during conversation. Thank you. When you asked me, I must have been in conversation with my other officers. So please, next time when you do ask me, please make sure you have my undivided attention so things like this don't happen again. You are my most trusted advisor. You are my first mate. I would be distraught if something bad were to happen, as this item here is a little mysterious in its nature. I wish no harm to come to you.
He nods, and as he kind of agrees to it, you do see your own contract updates with that specification now in it. His also deal though grows for what he gets at the end. Though the terms now look to will be shifting as this goes on.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Lara. Was that stand for me?
He smiles at you and hands it to you. As he does, you see on it, it's already set up to hold the ship perfectly.
You're a good man, Crump. I'm certain you'll go far once you leave my crew.
He smiles and goes, "Well, I better go help out Vicaret. I know that they're going to be useless without your best first mate. I've got to teach them how to be a proper a member of this crew." As he kind of stands up and walks past.
As he's walking away,
before
he's out of sight, I whisper into the captain's ears and just say, "Watch this," as I toss the wooden spoon in the direction of Crump, but not aiming directly at him.
Yeah, roll an attack. Just a d20 plus base attack.
Captain.
Vicaret, you've been now left with Crump babysitting.
I'm sad because
oof. Even with go ahead.
No, but isn't the armor supposed to attract it?
Yes, I know. Don't worry. Yeah. Go ahead.
If this curse gets revealed, I might get tasked with fucking undoing the curse.
Yep. As the little wooden spoon goes flying, You watch Azurus as it looks like Wara's aiming straight at Crump, and as the spoon goes, and then he turns his hand and completely throws it off to his left into a wall. The spoon turns midair and goes and smacks into the back of Crump, though he doesn't even seem to notice as he continues walking up.
Wara. What was that?
Yes, Captain. A magic trick.
Not a very good one.
It's something that you can do as well in case you need to toss things in Crump's direction.
I hope you're not insinuating that I do harm to my first mate.
I mean no malice or hurtful things towards your first mate, Captain.
Wara. We are a crew.
Yes, Captain.
We do not wish harm to happen towards the rest of the crew. Correct.
Correct, Captain.
So why give an armor to my first mate which attracts projectiles?
So that things can be tossed in his direction so that they will automatically go to him for his use.
Which would include arrows.
That he can catch and shoot back.
And you think Crump could catch an arrow being shot at him?
Yes.
Are you lying to me?
No.
Wara looks confident, surprisingly, even though he sounds like he's being mischievous. He looks confident in his answer.
Wara, would you please inform Crump of the effects of his armor?
Okay. Crump! As I run out, chasing after him.
As you head up, he's not hard to catch as he's already over by Vicaret, explaining, and I imagine to Vicaret ignoring him, how the best wood was grown back at his home, and how only the greatest ships were made by his family, which, as he also mentions, his family's from a desert.
I'm gonna telepathy to Crump and say that in his head, I say, you can communicate telepathically, so that way you're not broadcasting your secrets to the rest of the crew, and then I shut off the telepathy.
He immediately starts talking in his head, and you can see he's actively, like, moving his head around, like, as if he's talking to you.
Yeah, I just nod every now and then.
Give me a bluff check, please. You roll his amazing sense motive that he is very, very famous for. That's a negative 18.
Negative 18, oh my god.
Yeah. Right, he is fully believes you and seems to be going along as you nod. And you can tell in his eyes, he is, like, telling you the deepest, darkest stories and, like, life adventures of his own.
If his head ever stops moving, I will say, oh, wow.
Okay. Wara, as you walk out over deck, you do see Crump kind of looking at Vicaret quietly, just standing there, bobbing his head about.
I yell across the deck, Crump!
He looks over at you and just, like, seems to stare at you expectingly.
Oh, wow.
Captain told me to tell you about the armor's abilities.
You look, Crump looks up at you and goes, go ahead.
I picked up the spoon on the way out.
Uh-huh.
And I go, intentionally tossing it again, aiming away from him, and say, watch the spoon.
Alright, give me a roll. 11. Yeah, as once again, the spoon goes wide, and as it goes to drop in the water, it seems to bounce off the water and walk and go and pat into him, tapping onto his side as he looks at and then looks up at you, and seems to like bob his head about, but his lips don't open. He just kind of just stares at you.
I
Oh,
figured this would be a way for anything being thrown or tossed at you, you'd be able to catch and throw it back or toss it back at whoever's trying to hurt you, or it can also be used to get things to you that you need to have quick.
He just nods and then continues to bob his head up and down like he's trying. He's saying something, but he keeps his mouth shut.
I tilt my head in confusion.
Kind of look.
I look so far and I tap the side of my head and like I visibly chuckle, but I don't audibly chuckle. Like I pantomime laughing my ass off.
Yeah, I shrug my shoulders, turn around, and start heading back down.
In the meantime,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say as he turns back over to you, Vicaret, and continues going about speaking in his head and looking at you as if you're actually listening to him. Well, you're gonna jump back over to Azurus and Doots down below.
Now that that's taken care of, Mr. Doots, you are now free to converse. What was on your mind?
So I wanted to tell you that bottle is going to be a lot of problems, but I can take care of it. I found Bless you. I found a book on my travels for exercising the fiends of these lands, and there just so happens to be one that resides in that bottle. Give me that bottle and some time alone, I can do so.
Why do you need to be alone?
Because there is currently as I'm still learning the mechanics of this book, there is a chance that things go wrong. Should something slightly not go in the way I need, I may end up possessed. And should that case go on, I am willing to tell you my true name in order to convince you if I am still me or not.
That is very trusting of you, Doots. And you honor me. However, if you do become possessed by some great fiend in this bottle, I risk losing my entire ship and crew. Is it okay that we keep it safe in my safe until we get to land before you try to do anything to it?
The only reason I would rather take care of this now, while I'm okay with waiting, is that Crump has already proven that he's willing to take it. I don't know if he knows the combination to your safe, and while I do not want to put it or paint him in a negative light, it does concern me.
Nobody knows the combination of my safe. That's both. That's bullshit. Oh god, not the tentacle dreams. Dudes, can you promise me that no harm will come to my ships or my crew upon messing with this bottle?
I promise everything in my power this will go correctly, and should it not, I give you permission to kill me.
That is not what I want. I want to know that there will be no problems, not within your power, because if there is an inkling of a chance that I will lose everything based on you breaking this fiend out to exercise it, I do not want it to happen on my ship. Do you understand where I'm coming from, dudes?
I do.
I trust you, I really do. We sailed for quite a while before meeting up with the rest of this party. I know you are skilled. But I cannot risk everything that I've built for an attempt at releasing this fiend and getting rid of it. Please understand that I appreciate your concern for the well-being of the crew, but this seems like a situation in which it can go horribly wrong if we do something about it, but may be able to protect us a little bit longer if I just pack it away until we get to land to deal with it safely. Anyway, can you tell me anything more about this ship in the bottle?
All I
Seems
know
you
is
have some form of information on it.
that there's a fiendish presence within it.
Do you know anything more?
No.
Or is just it's a fiendish presence? Okay. And it's just me and Doots in here, yeah?
Yes. The crew is mostly working right now with Vicarette, the kind of pulling stuff across for the ship while Wara's still upstairs.
Doots. If it makes you feel comfortable, do you wish to hold on to this ship in the bottle? Do you have a way to keep it safe so that no one may get to it? I know I have my own safe in my quarters, but I'd rather not find any sticky fingers. If you could promise me that you'll be able to keep this bottle out of harm's way, keep in mind this is still property of the crew of this company. You are free to hold on to it, but please don't do anything rash. Are we clear?
Crystal.
And I'll hand Doots the ship in the bottle.
Okay.
I will place this bottle in the deepest part of my bag with stuff on top of it. And I will message you personally, DM, of how I'm going to ensure that no one gets to this bottle while I sleep and throughout the day.
Does Curve have a good search check? Let me just check that now. He does not. He has no search, in fact. So you are good for your investment here. Alright. As you take the bottle and kind of put it away, kind of stepping aside over to your bunk as you do so, I assume at this point, Azuris, you're going to head above deck to make sure to oversee the last bits of the ship being deconstructed and make sure everything looks good.
And I myself haven't even been over to the newly acquired ship that where Vic found the eggs. So I'm gonna give that ship a look over once everything is put on the new ship. Head over to mine and head under the sea and sail away.
Okay. As you lot spend the rest of the day kind of going about working the ship, getting everything organized, moved over, there doesn't seem to be anything else of interest amongst the two ships as you go about digging. Crump casting knock to check if there's any doors or like magically sealed chests or anything of the sort, or if any doors that are reopened have a different place they go, just in case.
Yeah. Also, for what it's worth, I do communicate honestly the prices, the costs of everything that I find, whether even if I've just seen it, like all of the inventory of the captured ships are relayed to the captain directly because he may not know it yet, but some of the stuff he's done today has earned more of my respect. So.
Oh shit. I think I've given you the full list of everything for supplies, so I think you're good.
Yeah, I include the egg even.
Yes. Yes.
as
Yep.
like as a thing to be like tallied because I intend to take them for my share.
Yes, and by all means, since I have no idea what to do with them, and I can tell that it'd probably be better for you to have them, I could just, yeah, by all means, that is, whatever those are worth will be taken from the coin. That would be part of your share. By all
Great.
means.
I'll scroll back up so I can add that to with our final counts by the end of it. So you have, and you said you're going to be tossing the bones minus the skulls overboard.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I will put an update.
Somewhat ceremoniously, actually, I imagine. Like enough to be like, a burial at sea, minus.
Fair.
Everyone takes a nice glass of our sweet, sweet spiced whiskey. Cheers to the fallen. And off we go. First star to the left and sail on till morning.
Okay. As you lot continue on, taking the ship, I assume you're not going to go after the other ships that are going to appear over the rest of the year.
I mean, I intend on it, but
Okay,
I don't
we
think have
can.
enough
Then we'll
time.
come. Then that's fine. All right. So as you lot say, we get kind of finish up getting the ships prepared, gathering up the last of the resources to make sure both ships have a shared load to make sure at least if one goes down, not all the loot is lost. You lot poke holes in the ship, taking out the last few planks of wood in the one that you decide to sink, allowing what few materials you can to just go below the ocean as the two ships begin to sail off, continuing on for the next 2 months. Almost undisturbed as you do so until we come upon the next, on the 5th month, a 3-decker merchant ship that has the flag of the Diamond's Court. And that's where we'll end today's session. We hope you enjoyed, and we hope to see you all next time.